Hungry. Doesn't mean you never get hungry again.
Yeah, but
You're not world hunger when you get hungry, all right? You're not part of the issue. You sit there watching Red Nose Day on telly. You're like, oh, no, they feel. Oh, Jesus.
I don't know why you wanna treat me this way.
Good eve. Welcome to The Real, episode 20.
welcome. I hope that this one lives up to the hype.
Nah, probably won't.
Nah.
Just like, well, it's great.
Yeah,
Great.
19.75.
We'll make it work.
I'm Ryan,
And I'm Gaz.
and this is Bromantic.
Yes, it is.
So I think we should. I would like us because we missed it. I'd like us to get back into a little bit of dad talk.
Okay.
Get straight in with a little bit of that. But do you know what I haven't done as well?
What?
I haven't checked the emails.
Well, do that on the next break.
Yeah, at some point I'm going to slip into the emails.
Double check if anyone's actually sent
Find
anything.
no one sent us anything, but I'll have a little look. It's naughty
Okay.
of me that I haven't. I'm very sorry. If anyone sent one in, they should be very upset with me right now.
I'm upset with you because I've sent you one.
No, you haven't.
I'll do it now.
Well, if you do it on the break.
Just be like, oh, I've received an email.
Yeah. Actually, I will actually be really gutted if someone sent one in.
Will you?
Yeah, I will, yeah.
Why? Because we'll just read it at the end.
No, I know, but I feel like I normally check them,
Yeah.
and I feel like disrespectfully.
To be fair, it's your fault he doesn't check them because if you emailed more, he'd check
I
them.
know, I generally would as well.
So
There's only so much disappointment one man can take for 20 weeks.
check them once every 2 months just in case.
because that's probably how regular they come in. Yeah, just a bit of saying, yeah, can you believe we've been doing this for 20 weeks?
It's mental, isn't it? 21 weeks,
21 weeks.
technically.
I think we should just call this episode 21
Yeah?
because that's how we keep track of how many episodes we've done.
I mean, we can if you want.
Yeah.
But it will just go 19.5, 21.
Yeah, I think that's a good lull
This is 1.5's worth of episode.
Oh, you're in for a treat. Buckle up, buddy.
Gonna get crazy.
Yeah, it's just one episode worth. Just so, yeah. It's not going to be a 3 hour
Barely
long
an episode, mate. Barely an episode.
We just want to do the quest.
Yeah. We're not interested in this anymore.
No. In fact, sack it off. Right, let's get down and fruity and tooty. Just some dad talk. Pretty straightforward first question for you. Mm-hmm. And I think you can give a lot of reasoning to this.
Okay.
If you could move anywhere for the sake of your little one, where would you be interested to move? Because me and my other half have this conversation a lot.
I think... I mean, the first thing that springs to mind is like America. Mm-hmm. Because I feel like there is so much opportunity in America.
It's a land of the opportunity?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just unreal, like in comparison to the UK. I mean, the UK is not a terrible place. Yep. I don't think I've been dealt a bad hand in terms of where I'm born. But I just, I feel like there's a lot more opportunity in America. There's a lot more chance. It's bigger. The only thing that would dissuade me from is like the political climate of America.
I think that's very fair.
I think is insane at the moment. It's a mess.
It really is, yeah. I mean, they might have an imprisoned president.
Yeah.
So
I mean, the one they've currently got barely knows what's going on.
that's a sham that he got in.
I just don't.
Like in today's climate, like how?
I just don't know how he's still in. That's what confused.
Well, I think they've got choices,
yeah, but he can step down and someone can take his place.
He's not going to step down.
He just has no idea. I watched a speech the other day where they literally cut him off.
Some of the speeches
he was
says,
rambling.
They make me lol.
Oh, mate, proper. But it's just, but then you think if that's the person running your country, you just think, what?
But the thing is, Trump was so bad in some of his things.
It's turned a lot of people to Trump, though.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, because that's how bad Biden is. That people are like, maybe wasn't so
Maybe
bad.
we should probably stick with Trump.
Yeah, like I'm not really a political guy.
Yeah,
but it's almost like a reality TV show. It's almost entertaining to watch.
Absolutely.
So
luckily we're from afar.
I know, yeah,
but not too far.
Not
That's the
too
problem.
far, yeah. Well, I mean, I don't even know really what's going on. Do you know what, actually? Do you know how bad it is? Do I know who our Prime Minister is?
I hope so. Rishi Sunak.
Nope, didn't know that.
Did you not?
Nope.
Oh, Jesus.
That's how little political care I
fair.
have.
I
Don't
mean,
watch the news.
I don't really follow it, and I wouldn't, it's not something that if someone said to me, do you think of X, Y, I'd be like, don't know, mate.
Who? Rashid Sunak.
Rishi Sunak.
Rishi Sunak.
Yeah.
I don't remember. Did he just get in? I don't remember him being in a vote or anything.
No, I think he got voted in.
Did he?
Yeah, Boris. Or maybe Boris Johnson stepped down and... No, because he's Labour. What was Boris Johnson?
Labour.
Yeah, then I think Boris Johnson stepped down and he took over.
Right.
I don't, mate.
Mate, this is my
I've literally
point.
just said to you if someone asked me what's going on, now you're asking me what's going on. Like, I've got no idea, mate.
Yeah,
Like,
do you know what?
no.
I was just sitting there thinking, I've got foggy about who that is.
on second thoughts, the political climate over here might not be that good. We don't know.
Yeah, well.
Yeah.
I don't even know if he's doing a good or bad job over here. I've not really heard nothing about him.
One place that maybe would be, but I don't know how kid friendly it is. Like a great place for opportunity and stuff at the moment is Dubai. Amazing place. A lot of people are moving to. There's a lot more opportunity, jobs, stuff like that. A lot of stuff's being built. But my sister lives out there at the moment. She's got a job and stuff out there. I just don't know how kid friendly it is.
That's fair.
Like in terms of upbringing. I know it's quite good if you're, between 18 and 25, say, to move out there and build yourself a life and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But kid friendly wise, I don't know.
No, that's fair. That's fair. I think even if I were to narrow down that question a little bit to just UK based, because the conversation we often have is how close to London do you want to be? Because that is where the opportunity is for me in England.
Yeah.
You need to be in the London area.
Well, I mean,
have
you've got London, kind of Birmingham. There's what's the third one? There's three main. London,
Manchester.
Birmingham, maybe Manchester. Yeah. Like the three main cities that you've got kind of opportunity and stuff in.
Yeah, that's fair. It's just, for example, if he was trying to be a footballer, lots of big clubs in London for him to go and trial at and stuff like that. As soon as you branch out of London into some of the surrounding counties and stuff, there's not really big teams around.
And also activities for them to do, really. I mean, I suppose you're going to get kids' activities and stuff all over the place. But say, for example, Cornwall's like my ideal, what I want to go.
Same, but
there's not a lot there.
no, it's just, I'd just be like, as much as it pains me to say, it's like, I feel like you'd be wasted. Like if you had any ounce of talent in something or a passion, I can't do anything with it in Cornwall.
No.
Yeah, join the local football team, be the best player. Doesn't mean anything.
You'd have to travel to London for everything.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
So for me, it doesn't matter if it's America, it doesn't matter if it's England. It just has to be either in or just outside of a big city that you can get to and fro from.
I think that makes sense, yeah.
So that's where my heart lies with it. I mean, I'm not particularly happy about
But then
it.
do you think you're maybe trading off the risk of an antisocial behaviour situation with your child for opportunity? Because undoubtedly, kids growing up in London, kids growing up even where we live, at a point now they get to a certain age and a lot of them are just absolute knobs. Do you know what I mean? And it's something I fear for my son growing up, that he becomes that kind of kid.
Well, we grew up where we lived and I think we're okay.
But it's very different from back then to now.
Yeah, is it?
Very different, yeah. Very different. I mean, don't get me wrong. I was no angel growing up.
Yeah.
I think when I turned 18 and met a good friend of ours, he kind of set me on the straight and narrow because I was not going down a good path.
Right, yeah.
But I do fear that my child may become, just purely because that's kind of what happens now. They go out, they hang out, they do this, that, and the other. Obviously, I'll do whatever in my power to stop that happening. But I know if I move to somewhere like Cornwall, the chances of it happening, although there are kids that obviously there's going to be wrong ones everywhere you go.
Yeah,
but
yeah. I think that's one of the things. You can raise a child as well as you can, but the influence of friends, like if they go to secondary school and the crowd that kind of they click with better, it's just not a good crowd. As a parent, that's so hard to pull them up. Like they go to school for 6-7 hours. How are you
Especially
going to pull them
that
out?
age as well.
Yeah, defiant and things like that. So I do think that's a battle. That's a good question in itself. How do you think that's something you could overcome?
I would definitely be one of those parents, I think. I mean, this is all possibles. Hypothetical, yeah. I definitely think I'll be one of those parents that doesn't care in terms of, not that sounds bad, that doesn't care about...
Please be specific.
that doesn't care about what either my son's friends think of me. Like if he thinks, if I say was driving down the road and I saw my son being an idiot, like running around with his pals, I wouldn't think twice about pulling over and dragging him into the car.
Right, yeah,
I've got no qualms about that. I'll talk to him when I get home. I don't want to embarrass him. No, I'll embarrass you. You're acting like a douche. I will embarrass you.
You need to be called out.
Yeah. And I'll call his friends out. If his parents want to have an issue with it, then I'll have an issue with his parents. Like,
I think that's an important lesson in terms of consequences. Like if you're going to behave a certain way, there's going to be consequences to it.
100%.
So, and I think that always helps when you've brought them up from the get-go.
Yeah.
That they have to understand about consequences and stuff like that. Honestly, off the top of my head, I kind of hard to imagine. I find it quite hard to imagine what I would do, given, like, if he's going into school and I'm thinking, God, I can't stand his friends. Like, I'm not 100% sure, because it'd be very. I remember what I was like at that age, and as soon as my mum said, "Don't do that," I was like, well,
that's what I'm doing.
yeah, so I feel like it'd be very difficult for me to then sit with him and be like, look, I know the friends you're hanging around with, they're your friends, but, you know, they're holding you back and then this, that and the other, and you shouldn't really be hanging around with them. I don't know if a positive talk like that, like saying things like they're holding you back and...
Yeah. But I think at that age, it's very much about the here and now.
Yeah,
what's
it
popular and what's not, as opposed to looking at your future.
Yeah.
I think you've just got to hope. I mean, as I say, as a teen... growing up, I didn't fall in with a bad crowd. Don't get me wrong. Like I wasn't like, but it wasn't a good crowd by any. We're older now. I still talk to them and stuff now, and we're much better humans now than we were.
I'll talk to anyone from school.
But some of the stuff we did, I wouldn't want my son doing.
Well, yeah,
Do you
that's
know
the
what I mean?
thing, isn't
Like,
it? But
you can ask what I did then, won't you? Don't tell
no,
anyone.
I wasn't gonna.
Like, yeah, some of the stuff we did, I wouldn't want my son doing at all now.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think I was very lucky in terms of before I got into too heavily into certain aspects of what I was doing,
Yeah.
that I was kind of stopped.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, of course. But do you think that your attitude and your behaviour was because of people you hung around with in school?
In school and around, and once I left school.
Yeah.
Because I left school at 16.
Yeah.
And once I left school, the people I hung around with, although good at heart, we just weren't into the nicest of things.
Yeah.
A couple of friends who were just into some very dodgy stuff, do you know what I mean? Which then I kind of got into and was doing certain things that I shouldn't. But interestingly, even in that scenario, it wasn't my parents that pulled me out of it. Through no fault of their own. My parents had zero idea of the stuff that I used to get up to when I was that age. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
And I hope they don't watch this because I'd like to keep it that way.
Oh, I'm just texting him now. Episode 21 is a big one.
But yeah, it wasn't my parents that pulled me out of it. So it's I think I got lucky.
Yeah, sounds like it. I don't know. I don't want to say things that are too... Do you think it's that your parents weren't in tune enough with what you were doing?
My parents tried.
They did?
They did, yeah.
Yeah.
I have no qualms about my parents wanted to know stuff like that.
Yeah?
I just think the upbringing I had, a very good upbringing. I've got no
no issue with that.
no issue with anything about upbringing. I just think I got into certain things that I knew my parents wouldn't like and kept it from them heavily.
But this is the bit that I'm trying to get at, is what part of their parenting missed the fact that what you were getting at, and what are you going to do differently to make sure you don't miss it? I know that's a very.
I don't know.
I know that's not an easy question.
See, me and my missus have had conversations about. I mean, the main reason we were on the conversation was because of like sounds weird, but like sexual openness. How like open we're going to be about what he's doing and stuff like that. Or we talked about basically if we had a daughter, how would I be? Because it's not something obviously any dad, I imagine, wants to kind of you don't know stuff like that.
Certainly
And my
not
missus,
keen.
yeah. My missus wants kind of an open, you can talk to me about it, stuff like that. And I think in a way that's important, to have that openness and that trust that you can tell me what's going on. You can tell, if so-and-so's done this or you're doing something, you can have that openness. But I also draw a very fine line between being my son's friend and being my son's father.
Yes.
And it's actually, you asked me a question a while ago about what would I take from my dad that like I implement now. And that is probably, thinking about it, the main thing that I take. Like my dad always said to me, like, I'm not your friend, I'm your dad.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And I tell my son that like now, like, they do the whole, you're my best friend. I'm like, no, I'm not your friend, I'm your father.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And we're family.
That's interesting in itself.
But not in a way of like that I don't like you.
Yeah.
I'm not your friend. I'll say that we're family. That's that's closer than friends.
That's what I'm saying.
Do you know
It's
what I
an
mean?
interesting thing to
But
say. Yeah.
remember, I'm your because there always has to be that line of respect. That he was always, as his father, he needs to. I'm not his friend. We're not equal in terms of like on an equal playing field. I'm your father.
Yeah.
And he will know that, and I'll always draw that line. There won't be a time, but I think you have to get into kind of that friend relationship if you want them to tell you stuff. So it's a difficult. I don't know where I would tread on that line.
Yeah.
Because I don't want him to. I want him to know that he can talk to me and can tell me certain things.
Yeah.
But I also want to keep that respect there. So I don't want him to think he can just come home and be like, "Yeah, I took this bird home." And
So
blah, blah,
I
blah.
think that's the bit that we're going to isolate. There is being friends has a laugh and a joke about that kind of stuff. Being a father is advice and guidance on that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So you'd want him to come home if he has any questions or anything he's unsure about.
Absolutely.
Dad, I've done this, and but that also comes with, which is the difficult part, I feel, if when you receive information that you don't really want to hear, you don't react.
Yeah.
You have to be able to absorb information and give output in a way that just listens.
Yeah, you have to.
And
You
then
have
advises.
you kind of have to understand that and appreciate that you're being told. You haven't discovered this.
Yeah.
They're coming to tell you. Like, don't. And if you shut them down and go crazy, they're never going to tell you again.
Well, no one goes forth for a grilling, do they?
No. You know what I mean? It's a difficult line, I guess. I'm kind of in a thing of I'll cross it when it comes to it. I don't know how.
But you have to, obviously, you need to work out your son's personality as he grows and all that kind of stuff. I do get that. I just think, I think it's an interesting thing to think about. Yeah. Especially when, I think we had similar upbringings in terms of a lot of ways. And I do think there are things that I think I never really said. I know I said a couple of things not out of spite, but maybe at the wrong time as well.
Yeah.
And I kind of regret saying some things the way I said them, but I was a handful as well, you know. And I think, looking back, I think, well, how would I have stopped me being a handful? And I think, God, that would have been such a difficult task. I don't even really know how. No.
But
I feel like I don't want Atlas to be like that.
I also think once they're out in the world as their own people, and, I don't mean that they're not their own people when they're young, but like when they're out in the world, they're doing their own thing. You're not with them all the time and you can't keep track of them all the time. At a certain point, you have to trust that your parenting has done a good enough job that they won't do certain things.
Yeah. They won't fall into the wrong crowd because they'll know that's the wrong crowd. Yeah. Stuff like that, which I think is important. I think that's why I never fell in the wrong crowd. Yeah. Like, as much as I was a pain in the ass, I never fell into the wrong crowd. No. And I think that's just because, I didn't really want to be involved with that. And I do think that's, a tribute to my parents' parenting, at least.
Yeah, absolutely,
I didn't ever look at the wrong crowd and think, oh, that looks fun.
I think I'm kind of logical with the way I think. And so I think that even if there were certain things I found out about my son is doing, I think I'm logical enough to go, I did worse. And I turned out okay. Do you know what I mean? Like,
I do.
not that I'm going to encourage it,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah.
or ignore it if it's something terrible. But in the same token, I'm not going to be all out warfare.
No.
for certain
I don't.
things,
I
'cause
don't
I'll be
think you'll be like
well,
that. Yeah.
You know,
But I do think there'll be a sense of yourself that will be like, I want and I kind of expect better.
yes, yeah.
I think that's the flip side of
You
that,
want them
because
to
I
be
feel
a
like
you
I'll be the same.
2.0,
Yeah,
not
yeah. I'll look at this person and think, I want you to be everything that I wasn't.
yeah.
And not in like a selfish way, but in just of like, I don't, all my mistakes and all my problems and all the things I did wrong, I don't want to watch you take that path. Like, but I think there's also the understanding you need them to make their own mistakes.
Yep. I was going to say, it's literally going to say they have to make the mistakes
Yeah.
themselves. They can't just believe what you've said. I've done this and blah blah blah. I find that never really works because
No,
they
it
will
doesn't.
try
Yeah.
regardless.
I think it's you want them to make the right mistakes, and that's a strange
Yeah.
thing to say. But
Yeah.
when it's like there are bad mistakes which you don't want anyone to make, and then there are mistakes like where they've made the wrong business decision,
Yeah.
or may pick the wrong subject, not done that well in a test. These are mistakes where they didn't study.
Yeah.
Okay,
And you want to learn from that. Why
That's
did you
it.
do badly? Because you didn't do this.
I don't want them to be like smoking behind my back. Do you know what I mean? Their mistakes. I'm like, I really don't.
But then
want
I think that relates back to the openness thing. But I think myself and my missus will have a very good dynamic because with us, I'm kind of the stern and strict one, but also the like playful one. I don't know. It doesn't really make a lot of sense, but
yeah.
like if he needs disciplining, I'm the better one to do it. But if he wants love, if he wants, if
Nurture.
he's hurt himself or nurture's perfect. Yeah. If he wants nurture, my missus will do it.
Yeah.
And that's who he'll go to, which, I've come to terms with, I'm not expecting him. If he hurts himself, I know full well he's running to his mum. He's not running to me.
Yeah.
And if there's anything else, but there's obviously certain situations that I will be better for. But I think the good dynamic we have is that I think as long as we continue to work together, me and my missus, if he does something, she needs to be able to come and tell me. But I also need to know not to overreact at stuff like that.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it can't be that she comes and tells me and then I go, right.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because then that breaks the trust almost between me and her.
It does, yeah.
Because, so I think it's a dynamic that I think will work well if it's worked well.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
And also, Rome wasn't built in a day.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not going to go right every time.
No.
And I think there has to be that flow of communication at the end of the day. I think the end of the day is such an important time of the day to reflect on, look, when you went and did this,
Yeah.
like I didn't interrupt, but I felt like that didn't go well. And then there has to be the response of, okay, I appreciate that. Not like, oh, you're never happy and this, that, and the
Yeah,
other,
yeah.
I think that's a hard dynamic.
I think catching yourself, like we were discussing this earlier, I think catching yourself as a parent and not only looking at the wrongdoings of the child is really important.
Yes.
I was telling you earlier, we did a bit of climbing and stuff the other day.
Yeah.
And he's 4 years old. He's never been climbing before. And obviously as a dad, I want him to go in. I want him to climb the walls. I want him to, get on with it. Yeah, you've done great, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
He attempted a few times, climbed a little bit up and then came down, got a bit scared, came down, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And to be honest, we had a session of like an hour. I think we only stayed for about 15, 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And it was busy. There was a few birthday parties going on, so we didn't have anywhere to sit when we came out or anything like that. So we ended up going home. And I left in kind of almost a mood with him.
Do you think you were disappointed?
Yes.
Right.
I think disappointed, not in him, but like my mind was kind of like, why can't you just climb? It's not that bad. Like you're fine.
You've kind of got an adult mind thinking
exactly.
of the child. Yeah.
And I left and, we went and I went, fine, we'll just go home. It's fine. Do you know what I mean? Put him in the car, went home, and I had to kind of catch myself on the way home because I almost felt like I was in a mood with him, but I shouldn't be. And I pulled the car over in the end and sort of turned to him and just said, look, I'm really proud. I had to tell him, like, I'm really proud of you for you trying and doing, the bits that you did and you climbed high and stuff like that. Made it kind of like it's a good thing.
Yeah.
I didn't want him to come away from that feeling like I've disappointed dad because he hadn't by any means. Like,
yeah.
And I had to kind of catch myself and go, he's 4 years old.
Yeah.
This is his first time doing this. And climbing can be scary.
Of course
Do you
it
know
can,
what I mean?
yeah.
It's, so yeah, I had to kind of pull myself and say, like, sort your life out, I guess. Do you know what I mean? Like, what are you doing? Like, and turn and say, and he even turned around and said, you know, we'll do better next time. Like, yeah, you know, we do what you can. Like, we'll do much better next time. We've done it once. You're happy with that, blah blah. But just let him know that I am proud of him for the effort he made.
Yeah.
And I'm not angry. I'm not moody with him.
Yeah,
and stuff
that's
like
it, yeah.
that. But I think it's important stuff like that, catching yourself. As opposed to just looking at what your child has done wrong.
What you've done there, though, is not just catching yourself, but correcting yourself.
Yes, yeah.
I think a lot of people catch themselves and do nothing about it.
Yeah, yeah.
I often see people go, I feel so bad that I did that. Oh, I'm
Yeah.
really gutted. Do the same
Yeah,
thing the
makes
next
no
time.
difference.
And,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know, and I think that is actually very common in parenting.
Yeah.
A lot of people, I actually see this on reels and stuff a lot. They put their kids to bed and they sit down and they go,
Guilt.
oh, maybe I should have spent more time. Maybe I should have. And I think you probably don't know the next day.
Yeah.
You weren't more patient the next day, probably.
Yeah.
You didn't spend longer playing. You didn't whatever. And I think it's all well and good having the guilt. There's this all these things of time flies and you miss out and you. Well, you can do it any differently then? Because you know you're missing out on time and you know you're not. But are you actually going to make the most of that time then? So it's not just catching it, but the correcting it bit.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
And I think obviously that's great that you've done both. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. I just didn't want him to be discouraged, essentially, from trying again, or having. I didn't want him to feel bad because he did well. Do you know what I mean? Don't get me wrong. He did. He wasn't super duper.
He did try.
Yeah, he tried. He got scared. It is what it is. Like,
Yeah.
And I genuinely think if it was a quieter, there was like 4 or 5 birthday parties going. It was busy. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think if it was quieter and we'd had a bit of time to like go and sit down and I'd talked him through a few bits and we'd gone back and tried again, probably would have done a bit better. But it just wasn't the case. And he's happy to try again. He's happy to go again. And he enjoyed himself. So
Yeah.
it is
That's
what it is.
that might be because of that positive output at the end that he enjoyed himself. Do you know what I mean? I think that's another thing people don't realise is your child can enjoy or dislike an experience just because how it ended.
Yeah,
Because that's the last thing they're going to think of when it's done.
absolutely.
And he's going to think, oh, my dad was proud of me about how I tried today. We'll do better next time. That was his last thought.
Yeah.
And I think that's what some people forget,
Yeah.
As you said, what you might have felt is, oh, my dad's pretty disappointed in me at that,
Yeah.
And he's not old enough to be like, oh, he's disappointed in me, I need to do better. Do you know what I mean? He's not at that stage yet. So
I mean, I imagine he's kind of at a stage of I did bad, I did good. And now he thinks he did bad. That's not and I wanted him to know that wasn't the case. He didn't do bad.
Yeah.
I was just being a stroppy bitch because I was hot. Do you know what I mean? Like, I was hot. And I was like, just climb the fucking wall, mate. But no.
There's aircon in the car.
Yeah, oh, mate, do you know, I'd love to get out of here.
Yeah.
It's your fault, Elijah. Yeah, let's go.
And he started school this week as well, yeah?
Yeah, buddy.
How was that?
Smashed it.
Lovely.
Really happy. Me and the missus had a conversation. 'Cause she's quite emotional.
Yeah.
And I had to sit her down the night before and say to her, like, I was like, look, we both took him in, obviously, it's his first day, big moment. And I said, do you want to stay in the car? Because I know how my missus will react. Here's what I didn't want to happen was we go there, we drop him off and he's okay, but she cries because him and her are very in tune emotionally.
Okay.
So if she's upset, he'll be upset.
Okay.
And like they very much play off each other's emotions. It's weird to watch, but they're very in tune emotionally. So if she starts getting upset, but he feels fine, he will get upset because she's upset.
Right.
And then I didn't want that to become a problem with trying to get him to go to school on his first day. The other thing I didn't want is him the other way around. So him getting upset and then her getting upset because he's upset.
Right.
And then it becoming a thing because when he went to nursery, his first few days at nursery, she dropped him in and she brought him home. Because he would, obviously it's his first time going anywhere away from his parents.
Yeah.
And he would absolutely bawl his eyes out and cling to her and stuff like that. And she couldn't take it. She couldn't do it. She just brought him home.
Yeah.
And in the end, I had to drop him in because I can not disconnect, but in a kind of way, be like, no, look, it's time to go to nursery and hand him in and kind of walk off. And the nursery workers even said, like, once he's in, he'll cry while you're there, and as soon as you're gone, he goes and plays with his friends, and he's fine. Like,
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So yeah, that's what I was kind of worried about. But luckily, she did amazingly. He did amazingly, and she did amazingly. Like,
Perfect. Yeah.
she was very emotional, but she made sure to hold it back till he was in the classroom. So we hyped it up. We made it a big exciting moment for him.
Yeah.
In the weeks leading up to his first day, we took him to his school, and I kind of explained to him that, oh, Daddy's going to park here, and then I'm going to take you in. We're going to go into there, blah, 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 and then Daddy will come, then we'll come pick you up after. Like, explain what was going to happen, so it wasn't like a big surprise. And,
Yeah.
hyped it up, and he, absolutely smashed it. Really, really good. Loved his first day, and really wants to go back tomorrow. So,
Great. Well, when was his first day? Today?
today.
Are they doing half days in a minute or 4
Yeah,
days?
so they start off doing like he did like 3 hours today.
Yeah,
Tomorrow he'll do like, Jesus. Tomorrow he'll do like 5 hours or something. Like, they eventually get longer, then the following week they go back properly. But it's just like an introductory week to meet each other, meet the teachers and whatever.
Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? They're that little and they're going to school. Blows my mind.
Do you know what's weirder? The teachers come and visit your house now.
What?
Yep. So we had a visit from his teachers
How was
to
that?
our house. Yeah, weird.
What did they say?
They just come, they meet us, they meet him, like see him in his own environment. Like they talk to him, ask us a few questions if we've got any worries, tell us a bit about the school.
All right.
Weirdest thing.
How long was it?
They were there for about 20 minutes.
Oh, so not.
No, they're not there for like hours. Do you know what I mean?
But kind of like I'm glad to see it.
I am, but it's just a bit weird.
Yeah. The change is weird, isn't it?
Yeah.
But I think it's good. I'm actually pro things like that.
Yeah, I think it's good because also as he went into school today, he was like, "Oh, they're the ones that came to our house." I'm like, "Yeah, that's them. That's the teachers." Do you know what I mean?
Yep.
Must be an awkward day for them.
Question for you as well. Does he have a male or a female teacher?
Female, 2 female teachers.
2 female teachers. Would you care if he had a male teacher?
Don't think so.
No, don't think I would either. So I saw quite a few things lately about parents not wanting like the first 2 or 3 years of school to be male teachers.
Yes and no, I get it.
So the problem is for me in this one is it creates such a bad stigma
Yes.
for any males that just want to
Yeah.
be, nursery teachers and stuff like that. But
Yeah, I kind of get it. I mean, it wouldn't fuss me massively.
no.
But I get where they're coming from a safety aspect.
Mm-hmm.
The thing is, I would just kind of say to that is that I don't think females are.
Any less likely.
Yeah, like it could happen anytime. Like
Yeah.
it's not a. But also, I think what some people might grasp onto is that. Let's get cancelled now. More caring jobs suit females or are more feminine populated.
Yeah, that's a fair comment, yeah.
So I think it's almost weird to see.
Mm-hmm.
The same way, and I don't think it's so much now, but people used to get funny about male nurses
Yeah.
because it was, or male carers or...
So that is my biggest argument to it. Is just because the majority of men,
Yep,
you might think wouldn't do a good job. That doesn't mean there aren't some that would do a fantastic job.
absolutely. Yeah.
And if that's the field that you've aimed for, then great.
90% of the time, men are better anyway. So.
Oh, that'll get us cancelled. Yeah, there you go. That's the one.
I sorted it.
Yeah. If it wasn't going downhill fast enough, I've
done
fucking
it
buried
for us.
it. Yeah. No, that's always my argument towards things is I understand majoritively, you might be thinking, I don't want a male teacher doing it because they're not as good.
Yeah.
Totally get that. That's not to say there aren't some men that would do just as good at that
Do
job.
you not think it's a very similar attitude to, say,
Everything.
female mechanics?
Yes, I totally agree.
Yeah.
I think there are women that would do men's jobs brilliantly. They're just not as common in those fields. Same thing for like male nurses.
The world's got to change, mate.
You know what I mean? Yeah. I just think, I tell you, so when I look at the police and stuff like that, when I do this example quite a lot, not all police officers should be male.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, oh, yeah, but when it's physical and blah, blah, blah. Like, if a woman officer came up to me, they couldn't detain me. And I think, great. But let's say your wife has just been beaten by men. Do you want a male police officer then talking to you? Don't. You want a female police officer speaking to you.
I think there's so many occasions where, like, a female police officer is just a much better fit. And there's also many circumstances where a male officer is a much better
That's
fit.
what I mean, yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's just how
Like,
it goes.
there's no issue with playing to your strengths
No, there isn't.
as a male or as a female.
I just wish the world saw things more that way, though.
Yeah.
Because there's a whole anything you can do, I can do thing. And great. But
Wonderful.
that doesn't mean I can do better.
Yeah. It also doesn't mean you have to. Like,
Yeah, as much as
Do
anything.
you know
yeah.
what I mean? Like, so,
Like, I think I see this in funny enough in my relationship as well. I think it's taken us a while, but we finally got to the point where it's like, you don't have to do the things I do.
Yeah.
I don't have to do the things you do.
Yeah.
You do them better, and I do these things better.
well, I think the great thing about men and women, a lot of the time, is that you balance each other out. So, very much in my relationship, like you said, there's aspects of our lives that I'm much better at,
yeah,
but there are also aspects of lives I'm massively deficient in.
yeah,
And my missus almost fills that gap perfectly. And I fill the other, like her gaps perfectly.
Yeah.
And it just works well.
yeah, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And I think the same with men and women in general. Like, yes, there are, women that are better at more masculine things and men that are better at more feminine things. But why are you going to force yourself to do something you don't necessarily, number one, enjoy or want to do just for the sake of, I can do it? Like,
I don't understand that.
live your life, enjoy yourself. Fuck it.
Jesus
Who cares?
Christ, don't throw yourself under that bus. There's no need. I think a really good example, actually, and this is a really boring example, okay? Don't expect any juicy gossip here, okay? When we first got together, she was very much like, I want to carry the bags. I want to do this. I want to do that. And I was like, I'll do it. Like, you can. I'm not saying you can't. But that's kind of like what I'm built at. Like, I carry stuff. Like, I'll be fine with it.
The things I'm good at are lifting things.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah, like I can't offer you much, but now we've got a wine bottle at home, and it's got a glass seal, and it's so tight. Now, before she would struggle for 10 and 15 minutes or whatever to open that damn bottle, and I'd just be stood there like, just give me the bowl. She'd be like, no, I can do it, and I'd be like, this just makes no sense. Now she'll go to me, can you open that bottle for me? And now I'm like, oh man, look what
Why
have I
don't you
done?
just try?
Yeah, what have I done to myself? And then I'll struggle for 10, 15 minutes. And I just think, but I'm so glad that
Can you
dynamic's
just loosen
changed.
this?
Yeah, do you know what I mean? Yeah. But I'm just all I'm making by that point is sometimes it takes time to change the dynamic, but you have to play to strengths.
Yeah, absolutely.
You just have
and
to.
it's just illogical not to. Like, why would you not play to strengths?
But that was always my problem at the start, though.
Yeah.
So I was like, why are you not just asking me? Like,
I'm good at this stuff.
yeah, like I'm going to ask you everything I can't do. Right?
100%.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
You're not going to ask me to lift all this stuff, but you're going to ask me to clean the bathroom because I'm not good at that.
Tell you what, don't ask me to make dinner because I really am baked beans on toast.
Cannot
and-
cook for shizzle.
Yeah. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, but that's kind of my take on everything.
Yeah.
Play to strength, and the very first question I asked you. That's why I think you shouldn't be judgmental on if a man wants to work in a nursery.
No,
because
absolutely.
he could be playing to his strength.
Yeah.
And learn everything there is to learn in that. And
I think what people also need to remember is it's important for children to have both a female and a male role model. Mm-hmm. And the amount of time your children are going to be spending at school is often more time they'll be spent than they're going to be spending at home.
Yeah.
So it's important for them to have strong male role models in a school as well as at home.
I was going to delve into a subject there. I'm not sure if I should. Well, you've gone on to male or female there.
Yeah.
Well, what if they're non-binary or transgender, and they're teaching your son at the age he is 4, 5, 6, and what if that comes up? How would you then feel about someone teaching your son about that kind of subject?
I've got no issue with them just being like, there are people who are XYZ.
Yep.
But the issue I have is with it being forced onto him.
Mm-hmm.
And if they were like, you could do this, or you could do, almost putting ideas in his head
Right,
would be
yeah.
where my issue would come in.
Yeah.
My son very much knows he's a boy.
Yeah.
He's very much a boy.
But if that changes with his own mind, that's fine.
Yeah, it's fine. It's
But
what it is.
obviously, if someone puts their point of view onto him,
Yeah,
that's
there's
not
this will be an unpopular opinion, but there was an interview with Piers Morgan, and he was talking to a
seen
lady,
this, yeah.
And she was saying that her 4-year-old, and I thought this is what made me think, is because my son's 4,
Yeah.
and I know the kind of stuff that goes through his head.
Yep.
He ain't definitely thinking about what his gender is. And she was saying that I think it was her daughter now identifies as they them and stuff like that, and like kind of went, and she's been on this gender journey for a couple of years and blah blah blah. And Piers Morgan always went, no, she hasn't. That's been pushed by you.
Yep.
You know, you've told her that she's XYZ, or you know, she's they them and stuff like that, and that's where it's come from. This isn't something that she's just. And I kind of agree with him.
Yeah. Yeah.
I kind of like, well, no, like my son. There's no way my son would ever think that technically and deeply about, you know, unless it was pushed into it.
Yeah,
like,
he made a great example of, I think his child's 7, and he was saying something like, my child was telling me the other day that she's a crocodile, and do you know what I mean? Like, and you think, yeah, because that's how kids think.
Yeah.
Another very, I don't even know if we're going to keep this in the podcast, but that's how I feel about religion. I think people should be educated on religion. If they choose to believe it, they can.
Yes, so my mum and dad got me. What is it called?
The Bible.
No, so my mum and dad are Christian.
Right, yeah.
Like
right.
my dad's more Christian than, or follows it more than what my mum does, I think. But they got us not christened and not baptized.
Blimey.
Dedicated.
I've never even heard of that.
So dedicated essentially is kind of like a christening.
Yep.
But you're almost dedicated to the Christian faith until you're old enough to make your own decision.
Okay.
Is kind of what it means. So
Yeah.
I think all of us were dedicated as children. And then as we got older, we made our decision to what we wanted to do religion-wise. I do agree with you. I think all religion should be looked into, and all religion should be seen and taught and stuff like that. And I just can't see any issue with that being the case, as long as it's not forced upon them.
Exactly, yeah. I think we have a very similar view on nothing should ever be forced.
Yeah.
But everything should be educated.
Yes. Yeah.
And that's how I feel as well. I feel that with everything we've just discussed. And I know that would be controversial with religion, because I know there are people out there that were like, well, I'm this.
It'll be
so-
controversial with both religion and gender, I think.
Yeah, well, that's true.
You know, I think education is important, because the thing is, you're going out into the world.
Yeah.
And whether you agree or not with it, these things are happening in the world.
Oh, they are, yep.
So do you want your child to go out there completely
Blind to it.
Yeah.
Ignorant.
Well, ignorant is exactly the word I was going for. Completely ignorant to what's going on. Or do you want them to learn and be able to form their own opinions and, you know, on both religion, on gender, on any part of the world, essentially.
Yeah.
They need to know what's going on. And your job as a parent is to prep them for them going out on their own. You know, I won't. It kind of goes back to, I think I said to you before, that once my son knows something or knows how to do something, I will no longer do it for him. He will do it from then on.
Yep.
Because my job as a parent is not to baby him through life. It's to teach him things.
Yep.
And teach him how to become a human that can survive by himself.
Yeah, absolutely.
So any prep or any knowledge or anything that you can put across or someone can put across is good, I think.
Well, again, on that is, I feel like I've kind of learned as well that my opinion doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Because it's, as you said, it's going on, it's happening. I went to like a fete or a festival, whatever, and they had a stall set up. And this stall was selling coasters for sexuality. And I was like, that's mad to me, because there were so many coasters.
Right.
For all, and I was like, I've heard of a couple of these, but this is crazy. That can't be a set. But hey, I educated myself. I read them all. I looked into them. They had a little description of what they meant, this, that, and the other. Because rather than walking past and being like, that's stupid, I did what I would want to do with Atlas.
Yeah.
And I educated myself on it.
Okay.
And I come away and I thought, right, well, I know a couple of people that that are actually, they've told me they're X, Y, or Z. I've never really looked into it of what that actually might mean. Well, now I've read it, and it's just a little bit of extra knowledge, and I'm a little less ignorant to something.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean I have to completely agree with it,
Yeah.
but I'm now not ignorant to it.
Yeah.
And I think that's what the important bit is
No, I
in
think
terms
that
of what
makes
we're saying
sense.
as well.
Yeah, makes sense.
Well, I'm not going to lie, we've rambled on there
Yeah,
for
fine.
quite a bit.
I'm good with rambling.
Right, so is there anything your child has ever said that you found either concerning or that you felt needed to be dealt with immediately, or something that you felt may develop into something? Or done, said or done, that you thought that requires action straight away? Something that you might have even felt to be almost extreme, if that has ever happened.
I've not come across anything like that yet in terms of stuff he's said. He's come home once and he swore, which obviously he's learned wherever he's learnt it.
Because you don't really swear in front of them at all, do you?
No. Well, I try very hard not to.
Yeah.
Obviously,
I know I've accidentally sworn in front of them.
Yeah,
a couple
bits
times.
slip out. It happens. Do you know what I mean? But yeah,
You called me and put me on a loudspeaker. And I thought,
yeah. But I mean, that's that you just kind of tell him it's a no, and
I think that is the thing with all children, isn't it?
there's nothing that I can really. The only thing that I have been very firm with him on, and it's kind of my fault, is fighting.
Yeah.
So I fight with my son a lot, like physically, not like we don't argue a lot.
No, yeah.
We
settle debates.
Yeah, he's like, you, Dad.
Yeah.
But we scrap a lot, and it gets quite rough. You punch each other, kick each other, wrestle, and stuff like that. And it's always been made very clear to him from a young age that it's only me that he does it with.
Yeah.
And there was one time that he tried to do it with his mum. And I knocked that completely on the head. And I almost went over the top with it because I want him to know. And obviously I know he didn't mean it maliciously, but I want him to know that it's never okay for him to lay his hands on his mother.
Yes.
In any way, shape or form.
Absolutely,
Like
yeah.
funnily, jokily, whatever, you never lay your hands on your mother. And so I did reprimand him quite seriously for that, even though he was just playing.
Yeah.
And I've said to him, I understand you're playing. Don't you ever touch your mum, blah, 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 stuff like that. He also has tried to do it with other males in his life. Good friends of mine who've spent a lot of time with Elijah and stuff like that. He's tried to play fight with them. And I've made it very clear to him. So what I don't want him to do is to go out into the world and start fighting with people.
Especially now he's starting school.
Yeah, and especially now he's starting school. Yeah, Jesus. Because we do, like I think I said to you earlier, like we won't instigate a fight in terms of like, oh, do you want to play fight, and go into it. Like I'll be just sitting on the sofa or whatever, and he'll run up and punch me, and we're starting to fight. I don't want that to carry over to his general behaviour.
Definitely not.
And he has very much learnt that he doesn't do that outside of me and him, and he'll even say to me, "We only fight with Daddy."
Right.
Do you know what I mean? I think that's very important for him to know that.
I feel, and obviously it's just because children are children.
Yeah,
There will be a time.
probably.
I reckon.
I don't doubt it.
Yeah. Because, as children are children, some kid's going to be a little bit.
Yep.
And
But what I have found, and I'll be interested when you get to this point.
okay.
We got very much. Elijah's kind of a pushover.
Right. Yeah.
It annoys the crap out of me.
Okay. Kind of a sweet thing, but
Yeah, he's kind of like, if someone does something to him, he won't, and I think it could possibly be my fault where I've said don't ever fight with anyone or anything like that. He won't react back. So he'll just, if another kid pushes him or takes a toy off him, he doesn't react back. But then he'll tell me about it. Like it's certain things that happened at nursery and stuff like that.
okay.
Where I'm kind of like, well, what did you do? And there was one boy in particular that kept not bullying, because I don't think at age you can really call it bullying. They just don't really know what's going on. And he's like,
a bit
I
more
told the
selfish.
teacher. Do you know what I mean? And I'm just kind of like, and it got to a point where, whether wrong or right, I did sit him down and I said to him, like, there's 3 steps you take here. I said, number 1, you ask him to stop. I said, number 2, you ask him to stop again. And you tell the teacher. I said, number 3, if he does it again, hit him. I know it's not great, and I know people won't agree with it.
Yeah, that is controversial.
I want my son to have a backbone.
Yeah, yeah.
And I want him to know that people can't take advantage of him or take advantage of the fact that he's kind.
Yeah.
And I think one thing I very much struggled with is the encouragement of sharing.
Yeah.
So me and my missus very much encouraged sharing toys and you must share, you must do this, blah, blah, blah. But it got to a point that even if he was playing with a toy he was really enjoying and a kid went, I want that. He's like, oh, okay. And gave it away.
That's a bit heartbreaking, isn't it?
Yeah. And you're kind of like, no. Like sharing's good, always share. But if you're not ready, like if you're playing with something, you're playing with it. You know? And it's something we encouraged almost too much, I think.
Yeah.
Which sounds weird because you want to encourage sharing. But you can't encourage it too much because then it becomes like they think they must give their toys away if they're playing. Or
the reason you can't share it the reason you can't encourage that too much is just because the world we live in.
Yeah.
It's because someone isn't encouraging their child to share.
And isn't correcting their it's the reason I can't go to soft play anymore.
Oh, really?
Can't do soft play.
What?
Oh, you go there, mate, you see.
Oh, really?
I'm not going to tell you. Other parents, mate.
Mate, yeah, that's
Unreal.
fair. Do you know what, though? Like, I look at Atlas and I look at what he's like at the moment with other children. But I know he's so small that it's not really the same. But he is just... I haven't got loads of experience because I'm always at work. But the one time that I was with some other children and him, he just took what he wanted. And I had to keep being like, no, like, let them like that. But I know he's so small, but I'm hoping that as he gets older, I can start...
Yeah.
Because
I think he will. It will be as he gets a bit older and he can kind of know the difference and kind of walk and kind of do his own thing and whatever. I think that's when he'll you'll be able to say like, oh no, they're playing and like, I mean, Elijah still does it now. Like if he wants something, he'll go and try and take it. And I'm like, no, Elijah, that's not.
Yeah, that's not okay.
Right,
yeah,
you know? But you're always teaching them. Do you know what I mean? But I think it's just it's a very when you're dealing with children in the job that I'm in.
Yeah.
And obviously you've done the job I'm in.
Yeah.
It's almost when things get to that point, it's very physical.
Yeah.
When you're dealing with adults, you get very physical. When you're dealing with children, you can't.
No.
And what I told you happened on holiday is when I realised my logic goes out the window when it comes to my son.
Yeah.
And I don't, I worry almost how I'll react as I'm older or if I hear certain things because I've always looked at myself, as I said earlier, as quite a logical person and I can kind of process my thoughts before I act.
Yeah.
Well, I've discovered with my son that's not the case. So it's something I do worry about. Because if he comes home one day and says that something's happened at school, I do wonder how I'll react. Or if I turn up to pick him up from school one day and someone's doing something.
Oh, God.
Yeah, I wonder how I'll react just off that thing on holiday because it was just such an instant.
Switch up.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that is... It's a lot to think about, isn't it, I think? Just even trying to put yourself in the shoes of that situation. But yeah, no, I mean...
Don't think I'll do well.
No. I don't know. I think you will, though.
I thought I would. Literally the only thing that makes me think I wouldn't is because of the holiday thing. I don't really want to say what the holiday thing was on the podcast.
No, that's fine. Yeah, no, that's fine. But I think as well, I think you'll think about how whatever action you're going to take will affect Elijah. So I feel like even if it was a situation where it's at school, I think in your mind you'll still be thinking, I don't want to mess this up worse for him. Like, if it's a situation, even if you get to school and he's scrapping, right? I think that's one thing, right? Yeah. If you get to school and 3 guys are kicking him, that's a different thing.
I don't think it would be. Genuinely.
Do you not?
I think if he came home from school and said he'd been in a fight or XYZ is happening, I think I could process it logically and react logically.
Yeah.
If I turned up and it was happening, no.
Well, that's interesting because there's that thing with Michael Cormier. Have you seen that? Where he talks about his daughter?
No.
He's at nursery or something like that. They're 4 years old. And his son's playing with a toy or something. And a girl who's a little bit bigger comes and takes his toy. And he takes it back. And he's like, no, my son's playing with that. You can't just snatch. And the girl takes it again. And he takes it back. And he says, like, you need to get away. Like, I'm telling you, you can't play with this toy right now. You can play with it later. And the girl goes to take it again. And he pushes her over. A 4-year-old girl. And he's like, stop. Like, no. And like a lot of people were like, what? At that? And then I can't remember who else was in the room, probably don't even know his name. And he was like, it's just a push. You didn't harm that child. But that child's not understanding words.
Yeah.
You've told them twice sternly no. And obviously, that their parents don't do that.
Yeah.
So you've had to use force on that child, not to harm them, but to show them that's not okay. And I remember thinking, like, the world is so fragile that where's the line?
Yeah.
Like, it's such a hard, because as much as I don't really see anything wrong with it, given the wrong situation or the wrong scenario, a little bit of force might be the worst thing to do. And I think that's the issue, isn't it, with knowing...
Do you think the issue with that was the fact that he pushed or the fact that he wasn't the parent of the child?
Oh, I don't really think there is an issue. Like sometimes I feel like you might have to discipline someone else's child. If their child isn't listening, I think that's what I mean.
Because I think if you think about it the other way around, if it was the other way around and he told his son no because he was taking a toy off another girl, and he told his son no, and he took it, said no, took it, went to it again, and he pushed his own child and said no, and pushed him away, I don't think there'd be a massive issue. It's like, oh, yeah, no, you're just disciplining your child. I think the major issue is that it's someone else's kid.
Yeah.
But then my question to that is, where are her parents?
Well, do you know what I mean? I think that's one of the things, isn't it? Like, where, but also, I think this also draws back to this. So me and my other half, we tried gentle parenting with Atlas, and I think I do wonder where you draw the line with that as well, because Cormier is he's a manly man, he's a masculine man, probably brought up a bit rough and tumble himself, and I feel like it didn't do him any harm. And it's never really, no one should harm their child, beat their child, smack their, I don't even really agree with smacking, but I do sometimes think that a gentle push or something like that it's not going to be the end of the world.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think it is, I think you have to also be aware with how the world is now of other parents' feelings as well as, because the child I don't think would care.
No.
He got told off. It is what it is. You're not battering that kid. So
That's what I mean.
I think the people who are more offended are the parents. How dare you discipline my whatever, blah, blah, you know what I mean? Which, to be honest, my answer in that case would be, well, where were you?
Yeah, why weren't you doing it?
Yeah. You literally watched your daughter take the toy off my son 3 times. But then you hear these stories of these entitled parents, don't you?
Oh, gotcha.
Who think their son or daughter deserves that toy and, they must do this, that and the other. And I dread if I ever come up against that.
Right. Let's put you in the shoes of the little girl, let's say that's Elijah, and a dad has pushed Elijah.
Okay.
How are you feeling in that situation? So let's just say you couldn't get there quick enough. So you saw the situation happening, you were walking over, but you couldn't get there quick enough, and now you've watched someone push your son. How do you then feel in that situation?
I don't know.
Right.
I don't know.
Because that's kind of the point of it, isn't it?
But my thing would be, I would be there before that happened.
But I know, I'm trying to give the situation that...
But my problem is I can't see a situation. The only way that situation would happen is if I've not seen it, in which case all I've seen is a man push my son over, in which case what happens. Or, there's no other way that situation goes. The only way I wouldn't have intervened at that point, because I would shout to Elijah. That's enough. Do you know what I mean? If I can see a parent, him snatching a toy, and a parent taking him back and telling him no, then I wouldn't have an issue with someone telling my son no. That is what it is. So, but I would shout to my son. I would shout to him, and I'd say, Elijah, enough, or come back. That's not yours. Whatever. On my way over, so he knows I'm the parent
going to
knows
give you
I'm
a situation
coming.
then, okay? Just so we can. I just want to try and get that. Yeah. So say you're at a soft play. Let's just say something or a birthday party. Blah blah. It's a large hall, and you've just been stopped by a manager or something like that, and you're on the other side of the hall to where the situation is happening. Okay, and it's a birthday party. It's quite loud. You then look over while this person's talking to you, and then you see the first instance of Elijah take the toy. Right. It would be a 30-second, 40-second walk to get to there. And if you shouted, he wouldn't quite hear you from that distance, right? So you're probably going to see most of the situation. when you got there, do you think you would be like, what the hell have you pushed my son, given that you've seen the situation? Or do you think you would be like, well, that's what you get? You shouldn't be taking other kids' toys.
I don't know.
That's what I'm saying. Because on the flip side, we're going, someone's tried to take a toy off our kid, and your little push is fine.
Mm.
But then once you flip that,
Yeah.
it doesn't feel okay.
No. That's true.
And that's where I try and...
I just, I think it's a very strange circumstance if that's had to be the case. Do you know what I mean? Because I do think if I can see a parent, because I think if I saw another parent disciplining my child or attempting to discipline my child and my child wasn't listening, my first issue would be, why is my child disrespecting an adult? Like that's number one, is a big no-no for me.
Yeah.
So I think irrelevant of what I was doing, I wouldn't just go, I'll deal with it in a sec. I would be over there. Whether it's 30, 40 seconds, like I'd be like, Elijah, enough.
Yeah.
So I can't see that unless I've not noticed it happening, and all I've noticed is the push.
Yeah.
I cannot see that being a thing. But in which case, if I've only noticed the push,
Okay, let's just go for a different scenario. So you're watching on CCTV. So you can't do anything about it. You're just watching the situation.
I can't do anything about it, then, can I?
Yeah, but how would you feel? That's what I'm trying to say. Like, you watch it
Angry, I'd imagine.
at the man or Elijah for
It
not
depends.
listening.
It depends on the man's attitude.
Well, just in the situation that we're given. So he's gone, no, and then taken the toy back. And then Elijah's gone and snatched it again. He's taken the toy back again. He's gone, no. Like, you can see him clearly going, no. And then Elijah's come forward again. And then he's gone like this to Elijah. Because I'm not saying that's going to be a hard push or anything like that, but he's pushing to let him know no.
Is he putting his arm out to stop him coming, and it just happens to have pushed Elijah and he's fallen over? Or is he shoving Elijah?
No. This is what I'm saying. I don't want it to seem abusive.
Yeah.
I want it to be like it's a push, an open-handed...
As long as I could
no.
see that it wasn't a malicious thing, I don't think it would be an issue for me.
Yeah. Because in that's always my opinion of it, though.
Yeah.
It's a child.
Yeah.
So there should be no malice.
Yeah.
It should just be a push that just says
Almost like
too
you're not
much
trying
now.
to push them, you're just stopping them.
Yeah.
Almost. If I thought that it was like a malicious shove, there would be a problem.
Absolutely.
But no, I don't think if I watched that on see, I don't think I'd have an issue, because I would just see like a stressed out kind of, Jesus, like just go, like leave my son. And then I would talk to my son about it. Like, why didn't you just
listen?
Yeah.
But so I'm trying to put you in the situation of you're almost watching you as you.
Yeah,
So-
I get that. It's weird because I don't know how I'd react in that situation.
Yeah.
If I saw it in front of me, if I'm here and Elijah's say there and I see someone push Elijah over,
Yeah.
but then I think the malice is very important.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. No malice. That's the bit I'm trying to get at.
Do I feel like he meant to push him over?
No. He's just like, stop.
Right, then I don't think I'd have an issue.
That's my point, because I think we're trying to go on the lines of perfect parenting, where there should be no malice.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to keep to that.
Yeah, I think
it's very much you need
my
to stop.
issue would be, if it was just a handout to stop him from, and he'd say, for example, bumped into the hand and fallen backwards.
Yeah.
So it's almost like a push, but not really. He's just trying to stop Elijah
Yeah.
coming. I don't think I would have an issue.
So I'm trying to say it's like a firm but fair. Kind of
fine.
that's enough.
Yeah, I can't see that being an issue.
Yeah.
And I would likely, I'd imagine, apologise and be like, I'm sorry, and take him away, and then tell Elijah.
Yeah.
If I thought there was any kind of malice or sense some malice in it and stuff like that, if it was like, that's my daughter's toy and shoved him.
Yeah. Absolutely not. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's why I'm trying to steer away from that, because I think no adult...
I think the malice is important.
Yes.
The malice is very important. So the intention of the adult is extremely important.
Yeah.
So that's where I think
All
I
right.
would go with
Different situation.
that. Okay.
You say you're just talking to someone, then you look over and there's a parent who's grabbed Elijah by the wrist and they're at Elijah's level and they're telling him off. How do you feel about that? Obviously, I know you go straight over, but would you kind of be feeling, which kind of way do you think you'd be feeling on your way over?
Torn. Very torn.
Yep.
Torn.
How do you think you'd approach it then?
Angrily.
Right. But at who? Like, what would you say? What would be
Both.
your... Yeah?
Genuinely.
Who would you speak to first, do you
The
think?
adult.
The adult. And what do you think you'd say?
What are you doing?
What are you doing? I think that's fair.
Do you know what I mean?
I think because... I think
And
they
they
have to
and
expect...
they have better have a very good explanation of why they got their hands on my son.
Yeah.
Like a
That's
very
the thing,
good
isn't it?
explanation.
Yeah.
Like my son better have been battering their child and they've
Yeah.
just grabbed his hand off them for them to be grabbing my son. That would be my issue.
I totally agree with that, yeah.
Because my thing would be, I wouldn't grab my son for something like that. Mm-hmm. I'd discipline him, no problem at all. But I wouldn't grab him up for it or grab his arm and stuff like that unless he was doing something that I physically had to stop him doing.
Yep.
So there better be a good reason for it.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Again, I've got no reason with someone else telling him off if he's doing wrong and I'm not present.
Yeah.
But yeah, you better have a good reason for laying your hands on my son.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah. But so that's where I'm trying to get to the point of like, when he's disciplining someone else's child and it's no longer verbal, is where's the limit?
yeah.
If you know what I mean. Because I'm trying to give two soft situations here. No malice in either of these.
Yeah.
One's restraint and one's a light push. And I'm just trying to gauge that kind of limit of when you're not on the receiving end or the, you know, the kind of like stop, you know.
Yeah,
blah,
you're
blah, blah.
doing it.
Yeah. How does it feel?
Yeah.
Because then you can almost understand, not with these entitled parents, but you can kind of understand the kind of don't do that.
But I think there's a difference between entitled parents and being of the attitude of, but my son deserves that toy.
Yeah.
So he should be able to play with that toy. Your daughter's been playing with it for 10 minutes. He should be able to play with it.
Yeah.
Whereas my attitude would be, she's still playing. When she's finished, she'll give it to you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But yeah, I honestly can't say. I can say how I think I would react.
Yeah. Of course, this is
In the
hypothetical.
moment,
of course.
in the moment, I don't know. There's, there's situations that have happened that I've not reacted how I thought I would at all. So
yeah.
we'd have to just kind of see. But
Yeah, I think that's fair.
yeah, hopefully that won't happen.
Hopefully not. You know, I think you I mean, fingers crossed you do.
This is all directed to me. What do you think? Where would your head go?
I've agreed with you. Mainly, yeah. I've kind of said I'd probably be very similar in a lot of these. I think if I saw someone push Atlas down, I think also it depends on what your child is like. So far, I think Atlas is going to be a bit of a shit.
Yeah.
And I feel like if I saw that situation, I'd be like, yeah, you probably deserve that. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, I don't think I'd be overly annoyed. I think I'd be like, you fuck around, you find out.
Yeah.
Like, I'm glad. Like, not, I wouldn't say it to him, but I'd be like,
I think Elijah's quite sweet,
exactly.
and I've seen him play with other children, and he's not a nasty child.
Yeah.
So I don't think. But then you're falling into the entitled parent thing and thinking your child's perfect.
Yeah.
Because he's not.
Yeah.
He's not perfect.
No.
He is capable of doing certain things, and then what happens if? Here's a situation. Similar sort of thing happens.
Mm-hmm.
They haven't grabbed your child, but you see someone telling your child off and blah blah blah. You approach, find out what's going on, because obviously you're going to find out what's happening. The parent tells you one thing, and your child tells you another.
Mm-hmm. I think I would swiftly get rid of the adult.
Yeah.
I'd be like, okay, no worries, I'll deal with it. I will then take Atlas somewhere and I'd be like, okay, tell me what happens, but you must tell me the truth. Mm-hmm. And I think there's that kind of understanding you have with your child, isn't there? Of when they're lying or and I'd be like, is that the truth?
Yeah.
And kind of, and if they're absolutely convinced and they're like, yeah, look, I didn't do this and blah, blah, blah. And I'll be like, look, that adult over there has told me this. Okay. I want to believe what you're telling me, but you must be telling me the truth.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. And I think that would be the best.
Can't go to prison because of one of your lies.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Like, it would literally be like that,
What you tell me now is really going to affect the future of our lives.
Yeah. Yeah, because don't get me wrong, if he's saying to me X, Y, Z, and what he's saying to me is quite serious.
Yeah.
Well, Atlas, I'd be like, look, Atlas, I'm going to handle this in a way that's going to be detrimental to our lives. Yeah. You need to be telling me the truth. Because I do sometimes think about that. If they go somewhere and they come back and they go, that guy touched me. Imagine you go to a friend's house and they go, yeah, his brother touched me. You'd be like, sorry, what? How old's his brother? 17, whatever. And you think, bro, you better be telling the truth right now. Well, I hope you're lying, honestly, but like,
this needs to be
the situation that's going to happen now.
Yeah.
This has to be the whole truth, nothing but the truth type thing. And I think it's so important that the importance of telling the truth is,
Do you think there's any situations that you would hand over to the missus? Like, do you think there's a situation you'd ever get into where you go, do you know what, I'm not the best person to deal with this?
I think anything that I I think anything that deals with possibly an adult, a female adult, I don't... anything that I'm going to lose my shit over that involves a female,
Yeah.
even though Becca would lose her shit as well. So
I was going to say,
I was going to
say, yeah.
She would be best. I'm calmer than she is. Any situation. I'm guessing this is confrontational situations.
Well, not necessarily confrontational, but discipline-wise and stuff like that.
Okay, disciplinary. All right.
That you think, do you know what? I'm probably not the best person for this.
Yeah.
Let's hand this over.
Okay. That's a really good question. Have you got any?
The only thing that I can imagine would come to mind would be, for example, if Elijah did something inadvertently, it sounds weird because I'm talking about my son, but like sexual to a female. So, for example, he was grabbing girls' bums.
Okay.
Doesn't really understand what it means. He doesn't really understand the thing of it. Do you know what I mean?
I'll give you an example. When I was that age, I would show people my willy.
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
There you go.
But I would say specifically to girls.
Yes.
And, you know, a teacher came back to me and said, look, he's been grabbing the girls and stuff like that, and they're feeling quite uncomfortable and stuff like that. That's a situation I think very much I would go, all right, no problem, I'll deal with it. I would obviously try and explain to him myself. But I would probably go home, I would tell my missus, and I'd be like, you need to explain from a girl's point of view why it's not okay, why that kind of thing. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, I mean, because I think, you know, I think it's important for him to understand how the girls would be feeling at that.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And I don't think I can, I mean, outside of going like, probably a bit pissed about it, mate. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
they're not going to like it.
yeah. No, just show them, mate. Get it out, show them.
I think that's probably what my dad said to me. I mean,
But yeah, I think that's the kind of thing I would think. I would kind of go, look, this is probably your area of expertise as opposed to mine.
Yeah.
But I also think if we had a girl, I think it would be very different because there's a lot of things. Me and I had a conversation the other day about, I said to her, there's certain things that you have to let me take the lead on in terms of like what he's going to have to do with his life, because I know what it's like to grow up as a man, and I know, you know, the situations you may get into and stuff like that. The same way that if we had a daughter, there are certain things I could never advise her on, or certain paths I may steer her down that would be wrong because I don't know what it's like to grow up as a woman. Do you know
absolutely,
what I mean? I think one example I used was, you know, walking alone somewhere.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? As a quite a large guy, doesn't bother me walking anywhere or doing anything. So I could never try and or attempt to understand the feeling of this and the feeling of, whereas my missus would be able to. And I couldn't explain that to a daughter of mine and go, oh, so you might feel sick. Probably just carry some. I'd be like, well, you know, if someone comes up, just, you know, mace them in the face and run.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like there's a lot of intricacies that I wouldn't understand that my missus would.
Or you'd go the other way.
That'd be too much.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think I'd go the other way. I think I'd be too much like, don't go out at past 6 p.m.
No, yeah, obviously. But I mean, like, if they have to walk alone, say walking to and from school, whatever, I don't know, right?
Yeah.
But there are certain things, say, that women will look out for, or certain signs and certain things
But that's what
that
I'm saying,
we wouldn't even cross our minds. Do you know what I mean? So I think that's a much better thing to be dealt with by, you know, her, and be told by her. The same way there's certain situations and certain things that I know Elijah has to do, to grow up in a man's world. Do you know what I mean? Certain things in confrontation, you know, I strongly believe that he needs to be able to defend himself and be able to have that. Not necessarily use it all the time, but if it comes down to it, he needs to be able to do it.
Yeah.
Like scrap, essentially, you know, or defend himself or look after himself.
I think that's a great example because I was brought up to be completely non-violent.
Yeah.
So nothing. If someone hit me, to my mum, if someone hit me, I'd start to walk away. That's how I was raised. And one of the things that actually made me feel up until about the age of 15, 16 is I was scared of confrontation. And I never want Atlas to feel scared of confrontation because it's not that scary. When push comes to shove, the worst you'll get is hurt a bit.
Yeah.
Like, but I would, like, through secondary school, like, if I the adrenaline. I could feel myself almost start to cry a little bit, like, because I was so like pumped up because I'd never been in that situation.
Yeah.
I didn't know what being hit was like. And if I was hit, what was I going to do?
Yeah.
There were so many things to think about. And then obviously once I hit an age where I could do my own thing, I got well into martial arts and this, that and the other and, loads of that kind of stuff. And then I remember just thinking, what was the big deal?
Yeah.
What was the big deal? I didn't have to feel scared all that time.
No.
I could have just got into a little bit of combat sports growing up, learnt that it wasn't really a big deal, knowing that I could handle myself if I had to.
Yeah.
Because that was a scary thing.
Yeah.
I didn't know I could.
And this is the thing. It's not about teaching them to fight so they can go out and just batter everyone.
Nope.
It's about if you get into that situation, and it's why I think every man realistically, I mean, it might sound a bit sexist, but it is what it is. I think every man should learn like how to fight at some point to some degree.
Yeah.
Because if there is a situation, like if there was ever a situation with, my missus and my son that we got into and I couldn't defend them, it'd eat me. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think he needs to be able to defend himself. So if he gets into a situation, he knows what he's doing. He can comfortably just go, right, this is what it is. Do you know what I mean?
I think it's vital for the fight or flight as well.
Yeah.
He needs to know that he doesn't have to run.
No.
Do you know what I mean? I do think that's important. Don't get me wrong. I'm talking like school scraps and stuff like that. I'm not saying if someone comes with a knife.
No,
do you know what I mean?
We're talking, but also later on in life.
Yeah.
Like, it leads and adds to your confidence, I think, later on in life.
It really does.
If you're confident in the fact that you can handle yourself and, I always say that I think every human action is enforced by the underlying threat of violence.
Yeah.
And I truly believe that.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, if you go kind of down the line, no matter what it is, the final enforcement is always the threat of violence.
It is.
And I think it gets a lot more into violence with men than it does with women.
Absolutely, yeah.
I think women are horrific psychologically, but I think with I think that's where
I
it
just
goes.
enjoyed the wording. I just enjoyed the wording.
like they can psychologically torture each other for God knows how long and stuff like that. And I think that's where it mainly goes with women. Maybe less so these days because it's very much what is it, geezer?
Yeah. Well,
but yeah, I think it gets to a stage of violence much more with men, and it's more likely to get to that stage with men, especially as you reach sort of late teen years and stuff like that. I'm not talking about like gangs and stuff like that.
That's what I'm saying. I'm not talking about the extremes. I'm just talking about.
But there has to be a point where they're comfortable to defend themselves. Do you know what I mean?
And I think it was Joe Rogan. Don't watch that podcast, watch this one. But I remember him saying the difference when he started learning martial arts between the confidence of when he walked into a room. And he's a short man.
Yeah.
And I remember him saying, like, he used to walk into a room and used to be like, man, if anybody started on me right now, like, I'm nervous. He said, but now, you can walk into a club, walk into any room you like, walk into a business room and just think like, I'm okay here.
Yeah.
And he said, no, that sounds like toxic masculinity.
But it's not.
But that's just inbuilt in men for generations and generations. And I do agree. I've never walked into a room and felt like, oh, I'm going to fight everyone in this room.
No.
But it's nice to know that you're safe.
Yeah.
And that's just inbuilt. And it's nice to know when I'm with my family that if one guy tried to, they're safe.
If something happened, I'm there.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you know what I mean?
And I just think that's... I can't remember how we got onto that.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, fuck them all up, Ryan. Mate. Fuck them all up.
I was like, how did they even get there? But yeah, no. Oh yeah, for pushing your kids. But yeah, no, I do. I can't remember. You gave me a scenario, didn't you? I just avoided it.
Something that you would hand off to your missus.
Oh yeah, that was it. Yeah, actually, because I did want to give an example to that. But I think I know this wasn't the question. But I think any situation that she started to handle first,
you would let her handle.
I think I would let her handle it in the way that she wanted to, unless I was going terribly and I had to intervene because I would never want to undermine her in front of Atlas.
Understood.
So I'd always let it happen. Yeah. And I don't think she'd ever do a bad job. I will say that as well. And then maybe afterwards I'd be like, look, do you mind if I intervene and do this or do you blah, blah, blah. So as much as it might say, was there anything I'd hand off? There's also to say I wouldn't ever step in as well.
Yeah.
But I think there would probably be situations. I don't want to say where it's like delicate, but like I would want her nurture side to be more involved with certain
emotional things.
Yeah. Not that I don't think I could, but I think I'd want her to do it first.
Yeah.
And then I'd go in and be like, is there anything you want to add to me? Like, and once I feel like she's kind of dealt with maybe if he wanted to cry about something, not that he couldn't cry in front of me, but he might not feel like he can.
Yeah.
And I'd want him to.
Yeah.
And I'd feel like maybe you should deal with this first.
But yeah, there's certain situations where it's almost that situation of you need a hug. Mm-hmm. And although you can give him a hug, it's not going to be his mum's hug.
Yeah. I tell you an example. There was something that happened to me when I was younger, and it was quite extreme. And even though my mum's the soft side, but my mum was also a tyrant. And I knew my dad would just listen.
Yeah.
And so I told him. Even though my mum was the one that run the house and this, that, and the other. And it was something that really, you'd probably think, looking at the situation, I'd tell her. But I didn't want to.
Yeah.
I wanted to tell my dad. And that's kind of the situation what I'm trying to get at. Like there will probably be something where I'd be like, it's going to need a different approach to the disciplinarian at times. It's going to need
of
that
course.
softer touch.
I think it's good for you to be aware of that as well.
Yeah.
Like it's good to know your role, essentially.
Yeah.
Like within the parenting thing. And you may want to be everything, but you can't.
No, you
just
can't
be everything.
Yeah, no, you can't.
You've got to understand that, the other parent is going to be the filler for your downfalls. Do you know what I mean? You can't be the disciplinarian for 10 years of their lives and then at 11 you're suddenly the emotional
Support.
Do you know what I mean? It's not how that's going to run.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you know what I mean? But yeah. Interesting.
Well, I hope you enjoyed that.
It was a long dad talk. I enjoyed that. It was good.
The thing is, I had like 7 or 8 questions. It was like 2.
And you said it's not going to be a 3-hour podcast.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, go on.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. I just would actually like to add to that talk. If anyone has any views or opinions or disagrees or agrees, I would be glad to hear them.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I would love to hear what other people think. I don't care how strongly you agree or disagree. I would like to hear it.
Do you know what I want to hear? And this is from the dads as well, but mainly from mums.
Yeah.
I would like some. Is there anything that you've ever wondered? Are there any questions you'd like to ask that maybe you don't get about the dynamic of being a dad in that kind of sense? If there's any questions like that, please feel free to send them in or ask, because I would love to know if there's some weirder kind of questions we just don't think of.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
Not only that, is I think we've actually touched a lot of touchy subjects there, and I mean we could delve deeper. If people have got something they want to add or want to say,
absolutely.
Bromantic@mail.com is the best place if you've got something long to say, or just whack it in the comments or whatever you want to do. I really would love to get an outsider's perspective. You don't even have to have children.
Yeah.
You can just have an opinion. And I would honestly love to talk more about it, delve into it. We're not ever going to throw someone under the bus with what someone thinks.
No.
You're more than welcome to have an opinion on this podcast.
If you want to DM it to us on Instagram, whatever, do you know what I mean? We'll read it all. And I think it'd be really interesting, actually. I'd never thought of that.
Yeah.
But I would think it would be very interesting to kind of...
Yeah. Because I know it's called Dad Talk, but as you say, anyone's perspective on it. I'd love to hear
Do you know
it.
what the other thing is? I think we said this the other day. We agree on so much. We're so similar in certain things.
Yeah.
It would be interesting to get a point of view from someone that goes, no, actually, I don't think I would.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, well, I often think we're quite masculine men, and I think we do look at things like that. And I would love to hear from someone who's also maybe more of a feminine man and kind of thinks whether they agree, but wouldn't be able to impose that.
Yeah.
And they have to look at parenting at a different side.
Yeah.
And I'd love to hear what they think and how they're like, that's great that you say that, but this is actually how someone who's, our children are young.
Yeah, someone's been through it.
Yeah, and they're like, ha, nice try, Buster. You know what I mean?
You think that'd work.
Yeah.
But it doesn't.
Yeah, you just fucking wait. You know what I mean? Yeah, so I'd or if we've spoken about hypotheticals.
Yeah.
If you would have experienced those things.
Yeah, please let us know.
And what you did, I'd honestly, I'd really love to hear it.
That'd be so interesting. Yeah, do. Cool. And guys, while we're here, please do like the video. Subscribe to the YouTube if you haven't already. Turn those notifications on. We'll let you know when we upload.
Absolutely.
If you haven't already, please do check out the Quest. It's something a little bit different. if you've listened to all our podcasts, you'll know what the quest is.
Yeah.
We've now separated it to a Monday release, so you have a release on a Monday and a Thursday. Please feel free to check it out if you haven't already. And if you're here just for the quest and you've just stumbled upon this video because you've left YouTube running in the background, here we are.
Yeah. Just press like and shut it.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
just like
Or
it.
stay for Would You Rather.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, lots of love to you all.
Yeah, lots of love. And now get ready for some Would You Rather.
Let's do this. So I've got some good ones. I've got some rubbish ones. I won't lie to you, mate.
That's right. We'll make it work.
I'm depending heavily on you to do so.
Yeah. My favourite.
Yeah. Right. First one. You excited?
Oh, yeah.
You should bloody be.
I feel like it's been a while since we've done Would You Rather for some reason.
I think it's just been a while since we filmed because we did 2 in a night, didn't we? So it's
Oh, yeah. And you're on holiday for 2 weeks before that. So.
that's true. So, would you, starting off nice and easy,
Okay.
would you rather be able to travel everywhere for free or eat everywhere for free?
Eat everywhere for free. That is nice and easy, yeah. Although travelling everywhere for free does sound great, I don't do that very much.
Yeah, but you would if you travelled for free.
No, because I've got to pay for accommodation, got to pay for food, I've got to pay for all that kind of stuff. However, eat free. Think of everywhere I could eat.
Yeah, well, you'd have to pay for food again, would you?
It'd just be great. Like, I could go to like Michelin-star restaurants, I could do whatever I wanted, and be like, yeah, put the tab on you. I could just leave and be like, great.
Fair.
That is.
Yeah, nice.
That feels like a nice and easy one. Yeah.
All right. Straight into it. Would you rather let a crusty old man drink milk out of your belly button every day for a year,
Okay, great.
or drink milk out of a crusty old man's belly button every day for a month?
No, he's drinking that out of mine. I'm not putting my lips
One's
in
a month,
it,
one's a
guys.
year.
Hang on. Oh, well.
So you jumped in too quick then.
I
didn't
did,
you?
yeah. I just thought about it. Like that.
Let a crusty old man drink milk out of your belly button every day for a year, or drink milk out of a crusty old man's belly button every day for a month.
No, I'm sorry. A year. I just can't. I considered putting my lips to that belly, and I was like,
Just every morning.
it's the word crusty in it.
Hello, Frank.
Yeah.
Have some milk.
Do you know what I mean? It's just, mate.
He's just sitting at the end of your bed like...
Yeah. Well, I imagine it was like on my way home, I walked past him and I just laid down and poured a bit of milk. I was like, there you go, mate. And he goes,
No, you don't pour the milk. He just has the milk and he's waiting
oh, okay, yeah. Well, he pours it.
with a straw.
And I think I can get over that.
Yeah.
But if I walk past him every day for a month and I pour milk on his belly, yeah.
Krusty's the word. Yeah, Krusty's
That's what I mean.
the word that ruins it. Bit of skin in there.
Bah,
Skin in milk.
bah.
Skin in milk.
Do you mean, imagine you're drinking that milk and a lump,
Semi-skinned. Hey.
like a bit of crust. Bruh. That's actually turned my stomach. That has. I've actually got a turned stomach.
Would you rather fight a kangaroo or a badger?
It's like a death match, like 1-on-1. Like
One on one.
I'd have to go badger, really, I think.
Really?
Yeah. I think,
They're ferocious.
I know, but I think the running kick, I think if I could just get a few of those in on a badger.
You're never going to catch a badger with a running kick.
Bugger off.
You're not.
If it's like at me and I just like bam
what?
it,
Like what?
right? And then I just run and boot it.
Yeah, but it's going to be quick.
Yeah, but
They're
so's a
fast.
kangaroo.
Yeah. But a badger.
The thing is, one kick from a kangaroo. You know how I was about to say it's about one hit wonders.
Yeah.
A kangaroo can one hit wonder me.
Yeah, but I've watched men box kangaroos. They don't do too bad.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know. I'm not saying it would always go badly. What I'm saying is,
Never saw someone fight a badger, though. Because they wouldn't dare.
maybe because badgers are pussies. And don't
Get back in your hole, bruv.
Exactly. Yeah. Although I ate a badger once, I didn't personally. I was in the passenger seat, but hit a badger with a car, and it just walked off. And I was like, that is a sturdy animal. Like, it went boom and it rolled a bit and then just went and walked off. And I was like, mate, fair play to you.
Don't do that again, boys.
Yeah.
Just walk
Just
off.
dented my car and left. Well, not my car again, but just dented the car and then walked off. I thought, fair play.
Fucking hell. Animals.
I'd still choose a badger though.
Yeah.
Just a smaller animal, easier to hurt, easier to kill.
Harder to hit.
Yeah, but that's okay.
What about a kangaroo with no tail?
No, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. Move on. Next question. Crusty old man.
Would you rather be magical but live on Earth as is, or
Okay, great.
live in a magical land where everything around you is magical, but you're normal?
How magical is everything around me?
Magical.
I've got like a magic carpet.
Yep. Your carpets are magical. The world in general
How
around
magical
you
am
is
I?
magical.
If it's me in the normal world.
Really magical.
Really magical.
Magical.
Probably picking that.
Yeah, in a normal world.
Yeah,
So you're the only one that experiences the magic.
absolutely.
You're so selfish.
I'm a superhero.
Everything goes down to you being a superhero
Yeah,
of some
it's my
description.
dream. It's my
I
dream.
mean, you'd be a really bad superhero in a magical world. No powers, man.
But what's every other human got in the magical world?
Magic.
No.
What do you mean?
No.
You want everyone else to have magic.
Everyone's like, I love that. And I'm like, having to get up and get stuff because I can't bring it over. I've got no magic. Everyone's like, look at this horse, it can fly, like pixie dust on it. And then they off it go, riding a flying horse.
No, because the horse would already be able to fly.
Oh, exactly.
It was magical.
Oh, but I can ride a flying horse then.
Yeah. Everything around you is magical,
But all the people are as well.
but you are not.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? That's just not good. Imagine they're like, well, I'm cold, mate. And then there's like a fire floating, keeping them warm. And I'm like, I've got to put a jumper on. I'm like, do you know what I mean? Nah, I'll be magical.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah. I've just, yeah.
Oh, a bit of an edgy one here.
Okay.
Would you rather have an intelligent partner or a good-looking partner?
Well, I've got both.
Oh,
Yeah, so,
bit of cheese there.
yeah. I nearly made a really bad joke after that as well.
I wouldn't know what either's like.
Yeah, no, my joke's going to be worse
Too
than
far.
that, yeah.
Oh, God.
Yeah, no, I nearly went, but they don't know each other. So,
Jesus.
looking for some confrontation when I get home, clearly.
You can't watch episode 21, babe. I don't know why.
No,
Can't.
yeah. It's blocked.
We actually didn't record one. It went wrong.
Yeah, no, it's terrible. Yeah. But no, I think I would choose good looking because
Really?
intelligence isn't something I per se. Or how stupid are they if I choose not intelligence? Do you know what I mean?
Here we go.
Like, how ugly are they if I choose intelligence, and how stupid
All
are
right.
they?
We won't be mean. Well, we'll start off not mean, depending on how you answer.
Yeah.
So if they're not good looking, they're average.
All right.
They're not good looking. They're just average looking. Just
Yeah.
a bog standard. They're not intelligent. They're just average intelligence.
Yeah,
bog
so-
standard.
That does kind of answer it for me because I would go good looking because intelligence isn't something I per se look for in a partner.
Mm-hmm.
I've got enough of that. No, it's
Got enough intelligence for two.
it's so I'm definitely I like to be cared for. Yeah, that's not right. It's just the way I am.
Mm-hmm.
And so if I had a wife who was good looking, looked after me, blah blah blah, that means more to me than playing Scrabble with an ugly person. That's a joke as well.
Jesus.
These are all just jokes.
Oh, God.
But the caring side is more important than the intelligence side. To me,
Intelligence isn't something that you value in a relationship.
it's not at the peak
I
of.
realised I said value and you seem that as really bad. But
I
it's not.
did.
Like if you had a list of things that you want your partner to be, intelligence not on there.
Well, it's not on there.
It's not on there though, is it? They must be really smart.
I would like them to be smart.
Intelligent enough to converse.
More intelligent than that.
Okay.
That like my wife's intelligent. Like, so it's definitely something that I look for. But you're giving me a would you rather here. So I'm gonna choose that they're good looking, but I want the caring side of that. Do you know what I
Okay. All right. What if
mean? No.
yeah, you knew it was coming. The intelligent partner
was caring.
is intelligent just doesn't go to smarts. It's also emotional intelligence.
Yeah.
So the intelligent person is emotionally intelligent, in tune with their emotions, caring, very intelligent, but real ugly. Like
Real ugly.
horrific.
Right.
And the good looking partner is absolute 100 out of 10.
Yeah.
Blinding, perfect in every way, but dumb as anything. And I mean, like, they're good to look at, and that's pretty much it. Like, you can't hold a conversation. You can't really.
So I think the issue is here.
Stereotype, dumb,
Yeah,
bimbo.
I got it.
Fit though.
The issue is here is obviously it's not a mate, it's my partner. And I have to be attracted to them. Or it just won't work. So I have to pick the idiot.
No.
I have to. I can't be with someone and just want to put a paper bag on their head all the time.
But I think longevity-wise, you must be able to have a conversation. You must be able to... Because I think you would instantly want to pick the good-looking one because they're good-looking. But I think for if you want it to last, you've got to go intelligent.
I'll be a really good friend. Jesus Christ. Yeah, but that's just life, isn't it?
I can't believe you stuck with good-looking after that.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but what am I going to... I can't be like, good night. Like, do you know what I
I'm
mean?
not saying that they revolt you.
You said they're horrible
They're
looking.
horrific looking, yeah.
Right, that is revolting. I couldn't spend my life looking at that and being like, that's my wife.
Would you rather speak only in a baby voice or only be spoken to in a baby voice by your close friends?
Fuck me. That's awful. Fuck.
So it's not the whole world.
So by baby voice, I'm guessing it's what adults use to speak to babies.
You little cootie baby.
Yeah.
Hello, Ryan. You all right? Would you rather
No.
only speak in baby voice for a day or only be spoken to in baby voice for a day? That wasn't baby voice. That was awful.
I don't know. I thought...
Would you rather? Would you rather speak only in baby voice for a day?
Oh my God, that...
Or only be spoken to in baby voice for a day? Which one would you rather?
That's crazy. That's crazy.
What's up, mate? What?
That literally, that looks like you're talking in like through a monitor that changes your voice, or you've got helium.
No.
I wouldn't even believe if I.
It's just me. Don't worry about it, it's just me.
I've never heard that noise come out of you.
I used to speak like that all the time when I was a kid. My brother does the same thing, and so does my sister. We used to do it to annoy my parents.
How you're doing that? What?
Just talking. That's all I'm doing, Ryan, is I'm talking. Just talking. See? You can do it too. Woohoo!
It just looks so weird coming out of you. No, I can't do it.
Right, so baby voice to everyone.
No, I just.
Or only your close friends. So they can see, everyone else around you, like, can
That's
see
just
that
you,
people
then.
talk to.
Just me. Hello, Ryan.
We have to quit this, which is a bit of a shame. Well, either way, we'd have to quit it. Me doing it or you doing it. So, I guess close friends.
Really? You wouldn't just do you?
I'd never get a job. Do you know what I mean? Like, I could do nothing.
Yeah, true.
I'd have to.
And your close friends only have to talk to you like
That's what I mean,
so
yeah. So it doesn't.
Just wouldn't talk to your close friends in public.
Yeah.
Imagine you going to a work stew with your missus. And you're like, oh, hi, this is my missus, blah, blah, blah.
Hello.
Does she count as a close friend?
Yeah.
She's my wife.
Oh, come on, man. Like, you know what I mean. You're in a circle.
No, you said close friends.
All right, I mean, you're in a circle. Don't be a dick. But, like, imagine, like, she's like, oh, hi there. Hi, I'm Becca. Lovely to meet you. Yeah, lovely to meet you, blah, blah.
Ryan, can you give me a drink, please,
I'd be like,
baby?
we'd learn sign language. And I'd be like, when in public,
you
you
don't
just
address
sign to me.
Just don't address me in
Talk
public.
to anybody you want, but not
not
me.
me.
Yeah.
Jesus. Would you rather be able to see 10 years into your own future or 6 months into the future of the world?
Probably my own future.
10 years. Yeah.
I don't care what's going on in the world.
Yeah, I don't care what's going on in 10 years. So much can change in 10 years.
Yeah, well, I think we've been over this before. Looking into my own future in 10 years, I'd just be interested to know what the people I love are up to in 10 years.
Okay.
I think in 6 months, what's going on in the world? Who cares? Who would pick that? I'm sorry, but who would pick that?
Well, people that want to know what's going on in the world in 6 months aren't so self-centered.
Who?
People that care about more than just themselves.
Who? 6 months isn't long enough.
Me.
You're lying.
6 months into the future of the world, please.
It's a porky.
It's not.
It's a porky.
You're a porky.
I'm getting a bit porky, I'm telling you.
Welcome to the club. Yeah. Would you rather have to kiss every person you meet or never kiss your partner again?
Ah, you're such a... It's horrible.
I know.
You pick some nasty ones. Because she's going to be upset no matter what I do.
How is she going to be upset? I'm talking about blokes. I'm not talking about an attraction kiss. I'm talking about, so when we meet up, you arrive here, we have to kiss.
On the lips.
Yep. Every person you meet.
Yeah, but that'll be women as well.
Of course it will. But it's not like a sexual kiss every person you're attracted to.
No, I know.
Every person you meet. Or
Never
you can
kiss-
forego that and
Oh my
never kiss
God.
her again.
I'd probably have to say not kiss my partner.
Yeah.
I don't know, like, every person I meet, that's a bit, I don't think I can...
I think the issue is that it takes away the meaning of a kiss, number one, if you
Yeah.
kiss everyone. Mm-hmm. But it's also a respect thing for your partner.
That's what I mean.
Do you know what I mean? It'd be disrespectful just to go kissing everything that moved. Also, it's cheating, but yeah.
Oh God, yeah, nah. As well, unless they worked from home, like I meet a lot of people. I'm going to work every day. All right, Trevor. All right, John.
Tongue kiss. Oh, yeah.
When was tongue kiss agreed?
Right now.
Well, the answer's I already said no to normal kiss. Why am I going to tongue kiss? Why is that going to make me like,
Oh, I can tongue kiss
I can
Trevor.
tongue kiss them. Trevor's always had an appealing tongue. What made you think that was going to woo me?
I just didn't like you pretending to just peck. I wanted a tongue kiss in your example.
You want to watch me tongue kiss
Oh,
the
yeah.
air?
Yeah, I do. I want to hear it.
No. I'll show you after.
Yeah. No, I would have to agree. I'd have to give up the kissing of a partner, I think.
Yeah, it's a shame.
It's a shame. It's not happening. It's okay. You don't actually... You're going to go, sorry, but I've got to
It's
give
okay,
up.
we can still go.
Would you rather end world hunger
I'd rather be a superhero.
or stop crime on one continent?
Oh. World hunger then?
Really?
Yeah, well, one continent?
Yeah.
Nah.
One continent to end crime on. All crime.
Nah.
All right.
World hunger. I mean, come on.
What?
I think of like, I think places like India and things like that, or, you know, in Africa where people are starving, and I just feel like it would be really selfish for me to be like, well, no more crime where I live. You know, like, I just think
It's the first non-selfish answer you've ever given.
I'm hungry, so that's why I vote.
Yeah. Would you rather
Big thing to say as well.
hungry? It doesn't mean you never get hungry again.
Yeah, but
You're not world hunger when you get hungry, all right? You're not part of the issue. You sit there watching Red Nose Day on telly. You're like, oh, no, they feel. Oh, Jesus.
I've never sent me a dime of this.
I ordered 20 nuggets. They didn't send any dip. Starving.
Actually,
Yeah, that happened earlier.
awful. I just want to say that we ordered 40 chicken nuggets
Yeah.
from McDonald's, and they sent no dip.
Nothing.
That was the driest McDonald's we've ever had.
In fact, we were spitting in pots and dipping it in to give it some sort
Why
of
would you say that? You know that makes-
switching the pots. So we
and
had
yeah, I
others
knew
spit.
that's where that was going.
Would you rather have more money or more time?
How much more time? How much more money?
Lots.
Thanks.
Multi-millionaire,
Right.
multi-billionaire,
Okay.
or as much time as you want.
Oh, God. Shit. Oh, that's really hard.
What's the point? Life ain't easy, bro.
No. The problem is, if I pick time, I watch everyone around me die, and then that might just be kind of that.
Yeah, but I'm imagining this time, or I'm saying this time, not imagining because it's my question. This is time with your loved ones. So
If once they all perish,
no, because you would have more time with them.
oh, so I'm not aging for longer.
Yeah, maybe, but so will they.
Time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I just sorted it right out. of you. You were like straight away time.
Straight time. Yeah.
I don't know.
So money was definitely the appeal at first, but then I feel like time's going so quick,
Yeah.
and I feel like I'm already like, God, I wish I had more time.
Okay.
I just feel like, God, if I could stretch this,
Yeah.
I would pick time.
Okay.
So I'd probably have to say, yeah, I pick time.
That's fair.
It's still hard, but
I don't know. I genuinely don't know which one I'd pick.
yeah, it'd be lovely
Because
to just be like, I've got a
I
billion.
kind of think quality over quantity. That's my.
That's not the thing. Is you're not wrong, and I think on a different day I may have said money. That's the problem. But then I don't know.
It's a really difficult one, I think.
It is, yeah. That's one of the hardest ones you've done because you said bloody unlimited time.
As much time as you want.
Yeah, that's why I think I have to. That means I've got all the time I want. I just think that's no money can buy that.
True.
But I might earn a good amount of money.
I think the whole point of this is that you wouldn't earn a good amount.
That is why would
I think that's the point of it. You can't be like, oh, I'll have more time, but I'll still earn.
I'm not saying I'll earn billions,
No,
but I might earn enough that I'm
Just
sufficiently
average.
happy. Yeah.
average wage, or you could have average time and billions. If you're going to go average and average, or you can have none and none. You're going to be a billionaire but have no time, or you can
Yeah, that's
have loads of time and no money.
no go average.
That makes it easier for me.
Otherwise, it's stupid again.
Yeah. I don't know. I think the quality of life you could give your loved ones, that's what goes in my head. Like, fine, having more time, absolutely. And I know people say the time spent is more important than, but I think the quality is very important of the time that you spend.
I know, but I feel like if you had a billion, like things could go wrong just because you've got money.
Yeah.
I don't think that guarantees anything.
Perfection.
Did you say perfection?
Doesn't guarantee perfection.
Oh, right. Yeah. But I mean, having more time wouldn't guarantee anything, would it? Though
No.
it would just mean that you get to spend more time with them, though.
Well, if you had loads and loads of time and your family ended up hating you,
Yeah, but you could fix it.
I suppose. What if you couldn't?
What have I done that I could fix? I'm thinking I didn't murder one of them. Do you know what I mean? I don't know. I think I'd have to go
I
time.
realised you gave up billions of dollars. Dollars? Pounds?
All right, you American suddenly.
I mean, if it's billions, who gives a fuck what it is?
Also, if I pick more time, I have to work longer.
No. If you pick more time, you don't work as long. If you pick more money, you work longer. But you obviously have a lot more money and less time.
Time.
Yeah?
Yeah.
All right.
I was looking at that differently. I was looking at you've got billions, you can quit work.
Oh no, because then you've got loads of time. Would you rather be able to do any magic occasionally, anything you want, occasionally, or have the powers of one superhero all the time?
Yeah, that, yeah. Do I get to pick a superhero?
Yeah.
I'll be Superman, and that's me sorted.
Yeah. Rather than doing any magic occasionally. So you could be Superman occasionally.
Nah, what would I'll just be Superman all the time, fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think that's so that's
Not
easy.
telekinetic though, is he?
I don't care about that. I'm Superman.
Couldn't shrink
I've got
things
enough
down.
of an upgrade. I'm okay. I mean, like,
all the time.
Yeah, like I'm not like sitting there flying, going, "God, I wish I was telekinetic right now." Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm all
I love
right.
the fact you'd fly like Superman.
Yeah, absolutely.
You wouldn't,
Yeah,
you wouldn't just be like gliding along. You're like,
no, yeah,
I must.
yeah. Do you know what I mean? I just like, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just punching walls, being like, I miss magic. You know what I mean? Like, God. Yeah,
Would you rather live 1,000-year life or 10 100-year lives?
If I live the 10 100-year lives, do I know I've lived?
Yes.
I nearly answered then, and I changed my mind.
Yes, you remember the previous life.
1,000-year life.
Just one.
Yeah.
Why?
Same question as always. Can I die of disease and stuff in this 1,000-year life?
I think you're guaranteed 1,000 years.
Yeah. That's pretty cool. Yeah, I'll take that, yeah. So I'm immortal for 1,000 years.
You'd age.
But slowly.
So 100 years would be spread to 1,000.
Yeah. I think I'd go that, yeah.
That confuses me. I would definitely go for the other one.
I just can't, like, when I think about having a family and it being like, boop, back to the start. I feel like if I lived for 1,000 years and I had a family and then they get grandchildren and blah, 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 either that teeters out into a point where I'm not really paying attention to it anymore and I'm just, hey, this guy's 450 years old and I'm like a celebrity, you know, for 500 whatever years. I think I could deal with that. However, having a family or whatever for 100 years, living a life, say I'm really successful,
Yeah.
say I'm having a great time, and then boop, next one, I'm like born in poverty,
Okay.
and I'm like, this is awful. I just want to go back to my family, and this,
All right. What if you didn't remember the previous life?
then it's pointless, and I'll still pick the 1,000 years.
That's what was my worry about the thing. I just think, I don't know, watching all your family die and
I do agree that would suck,
yeah.
but you'd also be a baby for a really long time.
Fair. Yeah. All right. Would you rather go a year without desserts
No.
or have to eat a spoonful of wasabi every single day? Ryan.
He's got me. When I drink,
And just to clarify,
oh,
you never build up an intolerance. You
yeah,
remain
you
the same.
bastard. For a year. For a year.
Yeah.
No desserts for a year or wasabi for a year.
No, wasabi every day.
Forever. Or no desserts for a year.
I mean, that's what it says.
Because I'll take no desserts for a year
Yeah.
and not do wasabi for the rest of my life. I think I'll choose that option. Yeah. That's okay.
All right, we'll go a year on each.
Oh, thank God for that.
Yeah, because otherwise it's just really overweighed by the fact the rest of your life has to...
Yeah, but they're probably thinking some people like wasabi.
I mean, it wouldn't really be a hard one to do, would it?
That's true again. If it's just for a year, you know, I don't even have dessert that much anymore.
Well, just no dessert.
Does it count as dessert, right? So I eat dinner at 6. Right?
You're trying to find
No,
the
because I do this.
shittest loophole.
No, because I do this,
What
right?
if I just have cookies? What if
No, listen.
I have cookies for
Listen.
breakfast? That's not a dessert, is it?
Listen.
It is the worst.
So let's say I have dinner at about 7,
Yeah.
6, you know, that sort of time, you know. And then about 10 o'clock, I'm watching a movie and I'll go get a tub of ice cream.
No,
That's not
can't do
dessert.
that. You can't
That's a
do that.
separate meal.
you can't do that.
What if I eat the dessert before
No,
dinner?
you can't do that.
So I could never
No,
eat ice
you
cream
ca-
again.
For a year. Nothing that you would have for dessert could you eat at any point during the day. What if I never had any meals
Well,
and I
no,
technically
no.
wouldn't have a dessert?
No, what I was going to say is, you know, if I went to Creams
Yeah.
and I have that for dinner,
No. Because that's what you would have for... Nothing that you would have for a dessert could you have for a year.
okay.
At any time of day or night, Before
no
or
ice
after
cream,
meals,
no
no ice
cake.
creams, no
Can I have
cakes,
cake?
no cookies, no.
Because I'll have cake as a snack.
No, Ryan. You understand what I'm saying, but you're just denying it.
I'm
I
just
don't
trying to
understand why.
find What I can still eat, what I can't. I can still eat biscuits because that's not dessert, right?
Would you ever have biscuits as a dessert?
No. No.
You can have biscuits like digestives.
No, custard
You
creams.
can't have cookies and stuff.
Custard creams. I eat custard creams all day, every day. I can't not eat them suddenly. My body will not just
You
fail.
can have the biscuit portion of custard
That's
creams,
just
but not
bullshit,
the
isn't
sweet.
it? Why can't I have the cream bit? It's called a custard cream.
Cream.
Okay.
Cream.
Yeah. I didn't ask for cardboard, all right?
Yeah.
I can't handle wasabi, so it has to be nice.
But I'd try and find loopholes, is what I'm saying. Massively.
Yeah. Because wasabi will kill me every day. I'll die 365 times in that year. So, yeah.
Would you rather your pet be able to talk to you or your pet to live forever?
Forever.
Forever.
I don't think I'd like that.
No?
Oh, no.
Why?
I don't want them to live for like 500, 600, do you know what I mean?
Why?
Because what if something shit happens?
And it happens.
No. What if no one cares about him?
They will care about him eventually. He lives forever.
Nah, I can't be dealing with that. What if someone's cruel to him for years and years and years and years?
It'll only be their lifetime.
I've only been there.
Well, he lives
It'll
forever.
only be 60 years of torture, right? What are you talking about?
He's got thousands. What's that?
No. No. He can chat to me, that'd be great.
Yeah? You just want him to chat to you. Don't fucking
No,
lie.
I don't want him to suffer.
Don't lie.
The possibility that dog's going to suffer is too great. And I can't. He suffers enough now with me, so that'll do. That's enough for one lifetime.
Imagine if you picked that and he just went, I fucking hate you.
I'll be like, wow, fuck you.
Oh, if only I had another life to live.
Yeah. You're being put down tomorrow.
Jesus. Would you rather be someone who compulsively laughs during sad moments or someone who cries whenever someone makes a joke?
We had one like this before, didn't we?
Similar.
Can I cry with laughter when someone makes a joke?
No.
I just have to weep.
You're like, that was really funny.
So essentially, crying replaces laughter,
Yeah.
and laughter replaces crying.
But compulsively laughs during sad moments. Like, so it's not like something that would make you cry. Anything sad, you're like,
I don't really watch many or go through many sad moments per se. Like, sad moments aren't frequent, are they? Really?
not massively. Jokes are a lot more frequent.
Jokes are a lot more frequent,
But it's
and
a
I
lot
don't want to
worse.
be crying all day.
But it's a lot worse to laugh during a sad moment.
Can I tell people that I've got a problem? Do you know what I mean?
No.
What do you mean, no?
No.
I can't go to a funeral and be like, just so everyone's
You
aware.
wouldn't be invited to funerals. After the first couple, no one's invited you to a
I was
funeral.
going to tell them.
Yeah, but no one's inviting you. People are going to say to you, "Ryan, can you not come, please?"
I'll probably accept that as well.
Yeah. I
I'll probably
you'd
be
have to.
like,
Yeah, sorry, I did ruin that last one by
but can you put it
creasing.
on Facebook Live and I'll watch? Yeah. I miss him so much. Yeah,
What
no.
a dude!
Oh god, that sounds awful.
Yeah.
But I'd still probably pick it.
Yeah.
I just don't want to cry every time I hear someone tries to make a
The
joke.
thing is, the more you think about compulsively laughing during sad moments, and the deeper you go down the sad hole, the worse it gets.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
Because imagine if I came to you with some really sad news.
I'd be like, "Don't you know who I am? Don't do this."
Don't tell me.
Yeah,
Why? Why are you telling me?
yeah. Like, you know, I'm going to laugh in your face about it. I care so much, and all I can do is laugh at you. Don't put me through that. All right?
Yeah, sorry, this is about you and I'm going through a really sad time.
Yeah.
Sorry, mate.
Yeah. I'd be like, you're just hurting us both now. That's what you're doing. You're hurting us.
I'll be like, it's really sad. I've got this friend who only laughs when I tell him things.
Yeah, compulsively.
Yeah.
Just
Would you rather? Which one did you pick? You didn't pick one.
yeah, laughing. Yeah.
Laughing during sad moments is what you go with.
Yeah. I can't deal with crying at every joke I've ever bloody heard. I cry like 18 times a day. I can't do that.
Okay. Would you rather get the hiccups? Last one, by the way.
Oh, crikey, let's make it good. Would you have hiccups?
Or a headache. Would you rather get hiccups every other hour or have to start every sentence you speak with, I do declare?
Hiccups. I can't be dealing with that. Every sentence.
Every sentence. Oh, we'll go. In fact, that's a bit weird. Every sentence. When you start talking.
Right.
So, like every paragraph, say.
Okay. So,
I
but
do
say we're
declare-
having this conversation.
Yeah.
Every time you speak and then I speak,
You
I
just say,
say
I do declare.
That is a nightmare.
Yeah. It's awful. And very annoying. It'd start off a little bit funny, but
Especially if I just want to say something quick. Imagine if I just want to say, yeah. I do declare, yeah. Every time.
you have to say it in kind of a Western accent as well.
Yeah, oh, really?
I do
declare. Yes. Yeah. That is what
It would start off funny and then just be like, bro, really?
And I,
You can also never tell anyone about it.
yeah. Hiccups every other hour.
But that's awful. That's hiccups essentially for the rest of your life. Done. Because sometimes it'll take you an hour to get rid of hiccups.
Yeah. I normally get rid of them pretty quick.
Yeah?
Yeah, they don't last very long, so that's probably why I don't mind
Get my
hiccups.
lungs taken out.
I don't know if you can do that. Isn't it your diaphragm, not even your lungs, that's a problem?
Yeah, but it's because of your lungs. They don't inflate properly because of your diaphragm. No?
Don't
I
think
could be wrong. The way Ryan's looking at me, I might be wrong.
It's just spasm in the diaphragm. That's
Oh, is
all
it?
it is. Yeah, it's
Yeah, I knew that, yeah. That's why I get my lungs taken out.
release all problems.
I'll cut my testicles off.
Yeah.
It's fine. It's not a problem, guys.
I do declare.
Shit. I do
God.
declare
I do declare my testicles.
I've been removed. Oh, God. No problems with hiccups. No.
Hiccups, anyway. Yeah.
Hiccups. Thanks, mate. Yeah,
Yeah, anyway, you took that on a bit of a weird turn.
Yeah,
but
sorry, I don't know. I mean, apparently, I think that you can take your lungs out and not hiccup.
Yeah.
So,
I think the fact that you take your lungs out.
yeah, just that on its own is an issue we need to address. So,
Cool. I enjoyed that, would you rather?
yeah, that was good.
Some hard ones. Sadly, one of the hardest ones was about dessert.
The fact that you love dessert so much.
I know, yeah, when you were like,
really
no
should be.
dessert, Ryan. Like, no food that could be in a dessert. I was like, shit.
I love the fact I had to clarify just because you were like, but sometimes I don't have it as dessert. It's just a snack. Shut up. You know what I mean. I ain't being
That
that
felt like a valuable question. Like, if I'm sitting and watching a movie late at night, I want a bit of ice cream. Like...
No.
Yeah, well, that's a bit mean, isn't
I've
it?
already been through this.
Yeah, I know. But that's the loophole I was
Just stop.
trying to find.
You picked wasabi.
I didn't. I definitely didn't.
Oh, yeah, you picked
Because I'd die.
Yeah.
I don't want to die of wasabi overdose.
It would be an overdose, wouldn't it? You just wouldn't have a good day any day. Would you rather take it in the morning or just before bed? If you were to pick that.
In the morning.
Wake you up, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Great wake up.
I wouldn't be able to go to sleep if I did.
Yeah. Do
I would throw up immediately.
you reckon?
Yeah.
You throw up at hot stuff?
Yeah, every time.
Why don't you throw up when you see me then?
I really wanted a witty comeback. I really wanted a witty comeback to that. I just didn't have one.
Well, guys,
Ah, what a great finish.
this has been Podcast of the Ages.
Yeah.
The true episode 20 that we're calling episode 21.
Yeah.
I might call it episode 20.5.
Who knows?
Or it might be episode 19, version 2.0.
If we just never make it past episode 19.
Just continually.
Keep
no?
forgetting to do episode 20. Just through the 19s.
Guys, if someone can throw in the comments what you'd like us to dress up as next episode.
Yeah.
Because we did say we would do it for this episode and then forgot.
Yeah, well, not only that is we keep saying that right at the end, and
Yeah.
no one really makes it this far.
No.
So
If you do make it this far, comment and put in the comments what you want us to dress up as. And we'll dress up as it next week.
I want to say something really outlandish at the end, just to see if anyone goes this far.
No, don't.
I think you're what? No, I'm just kidding. think it's cute that we sit the same way.
Why are you making it weird?
No, I'm just saying it's cute.
Just think it's cute.
We like
right?
symmetry on here. This is
Oh shit! And it's a